Hello everyone, my name is Cutie and welcome to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. If you're just joining us from GDQ 2025, first off, welcome. This is Hotfix, our regularly scheduled programming that we have year-round, about 6-ish hours pretty much every day of different types of speedruns. We have different shows that cover different things. Perilous Paths covers Soulslikes, Roguelikes, and Metroidvanias. So if it has challenging gameplay, exciting exploration, or meaningful progression in some manner, it's going to be fair game. Now, I want to take a second to talk about GDQ 2025. For anyone who somehow didn't watch it, we managed to raise over $2.5 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, which is absolutely stunning and incredible. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who was involved, all of the runners, the commentators, the support staff, the corporate partners, the volunteers, and anyone and everyone else that I might have missed, and most especially, all of you out there who attended, who were watching on Twitch, and most importantly, who donated. What a spectacular event that we had. What a spectacular showing. I'm so excited and so thankful that we were all able to be a part of that. But moving on back to Hotfix, this is going to be, and I probably say this every week, but this is going to be an absolutely stacked episode of Perilous Paths. First off, we have Cave running Frogmonster. Now, what's interesting about this is he is doing the all bosses category, which has never been shown on GDQ. Super excited. If you know me and Soulslikes, I want to see all the content, the hardest things. And then doubly interesting, we actually have the developer of Frogmonster here as a commentator. So we're going to have a little bit of back and forth between a guy trying to break the game and a guy who built the game. So we'll see how that dynamic plays out. And then afterwards, we have another game, which is going to be Rebel Transmute by Illegally Sam. This game is sort of an indie Metroidvania. The artwork and the style is going to play, I think, really well together with Frogmonster. So if those things sound fun, hopefully you'll stick around and keep us company. But with that, without further ado, enough from me. Let's go ahead and bring in Cave and his wonderful group. How are you all doing today?
Yo, doing good.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We're happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Frogmonster, what we can expect to see, and you know who all of you are. If you want to introduce yourselves a little more comprehensively, and then let's go ahead and get into the run. I'm excited for this.
Sure. So I'm Cave. I speedrun Frogmonster, and I'm joined by two awesome commentators. Jaxler, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jaxler. I have primarily been speedrunning any percent ridge skip and no ridge skip. This game took over my life in April, and this is such a cool category that Cave's put a lot of work into, so I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, Jaxler, truly the man that needs no introduction. And then we also are joined by Ben, aka Frogmonster Dev. If you want to go ahead and say hi and maybe talk about what Frogmonster is.
Yeah, hey, thanks everyone for having me. I'm Ben. I made Frogmonster. It's a Souls-like Metroidvania FPS with a lot of cool boss design, and I'm excited that you'll get to see some of it today.
Yep, so with that, Cutie, are we good to go ahead and get started?
Absolutely. Just give us a quick little countdown. We'll get going.
All right, so time is just going to start when I click on that new game slot. Actually, when I click on confirm. Yeah. It's been a bit. All right. I did practice yesterday, actually. It hasn't been a bit. All right. Time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is Melora. She's going to give us some game disposition, a little story. If Jax or Ben, you want to talk about what's going on here.
Yeah, I'll hop in. So right at the start of the game, Melora's like, hey, I managed to create you. You're this little frog dude. There's this guy named Rooney, and we'll see someone else later, who's picking all these evil monsters, and it's our job to take care of it. So right at the start of the run, we're going to see two major things, a six-shot pellet gun pistol, as well as a tongue that we can use to pick up bugs and critters in the environment. And so at the start of the run here, we're going to be picking up a couple of critters here. The big one right here is picking up this fly. When we consume it, it will give us a temporary reload speed increase, which is really going to allow us to save, I want to say like 5 seconds on that fight alone. And then there's also a couple other things as well. We picked up a frog along the way, gives us a little health refill when we eat it. We also want to try to grab a dragonfly along the way here. And so that looks like we'll be able to snag this one. Good, nice.
I was real worried I was gonna have to jog around looking for one for a while.
Yeah, and so we're actually going to be making a couple of detours here to some hidden chests coming up in a second here. So to briefly explain what this category means, this is an all bosses run, meaning that we have to defeat every single boss that was released in the original patch of the game before defeating the final boss. So we're actually going to be taking a quick detour to grab some metal ore. We're going to pick up this crab for a little bit later, as well as this chest for a smooth stone, which we'll be selling later. And so, Ben, do you want to cover like how the spells work in this game?
Yeah, so spells in this game are your main source of healing, and on hitting an enemy, after a little bit of a delay, you'll get health back. Cave doesn't take damage, so you won't see it here.
Surely.
And then enemies drop mana, which is your main source to use the spells, which is that blue bar on the left.
Yeah, and so coming up, this is going to be our first boss fight of the run, going into I can't remember his name. It's been a little while.
He's a silly guy.
He's a silly guy. This is my goat.
Roth.
That's the name. It's been a moment. So we're gonna go ahead and equip the dragonfly going into this fight. So different runners will kind of have different setups for how they like to handle this fight. But our goal is to reach specific damage thresholds so that we can try to skip one of these like long neck attacks. And we're gonna make sure that we perfect damage setup. We equip the dragonfly there as well. It gives us faster bullet speed as well as a 5% damage increase, which doesn't sound like a lot, but allows us to make use of all of the shotgun ammo and one set of pistol shots to take care of them just like that.
And Jax, I know you use fly for that fight instead, right? So your fight goes like a little differently.
Yeah, so I opt for the faster reload speed. I also completely forgot about that smooth stone.
Yeah, it's nice for it's a different shop for you in this category too. It's wild. You get enough to buy like an extra bug slot.
So speaking of extra bug slots, we managed to unlock one after defeating Groth. And so each of these bugs that we eat for the first time will also unlock the ability to equip them in the pause screen when we're at one of those pink flower checkpoints. And so each bug takes a different number of bug slots to be able to equip. And so what we have equipped right now is that dragonfly we mentioned earlier, as well as the fly that we picked up during that first combat encounter, which when equipped will give us a passive reload speed increase, which is going to be really nice for the early game. It's going to kind of comprise our early game setup here. And every time we go into one of these like ambush encounters, all the enemies are going to spawn in predetermined locations, and the next wave of enemies will spawn after we kill a certain threshold or quota of enemies. And so Cave knows exactly where all these enemies are going to spawn, so we're just going to go ahead, take care of them all right here, and we want to make sure we leave that fight with maximum shotgun ammo, because we're not going to intend to fight any enemies until we get to the next boss here. Pick a mushroom frog up on the way, as well as our next weapon, which is the machine gun. Going to be really nice, just kind of as an off weapon. Our shotgun is going to be our main source of DPS in this run, but having the machine gun is really good against certain archetypes of enemies in this game.
Yeah, so, it's always good. You want to like just not use pistol ever, so just having another weapon that like does decent damage is always, it's nice to have on hand.
Going for the skip that I hate, nicely done. There's going to be a couple of little platforming skips right here where we can do some corner cuts. We're going to pick up another spell here called the Mush Bomb. Now, the Mush Bomb, we're not really going to use all that much in combat per se. It's going to allow us to do some skips later on. The role of the Mush Bomb in the run has decreased over time just because of some FPS-related lag clips that we've discovered since we've started routing this game. But we're gonna look around here. See, doesn't look like
I don't usually go for it. I just send it in the boss fight and hope it's there.
Yeah. There he is. So picking up that purple snack right there will give us a free mana-less cost of any spell we wish. So we're gonna use that for a free cast of the spell. We're gonna get 6 shots into the boss right there, and he always starts by making use of that spores attack. And those will drop ammo for us when we destroy them. So we want to make sure we take care of them as quickly as possible. And then Cave is making sure to prioritize making use of the shotgun ammo because the shotgun ammo, pound for pound, is the best source of damage that we have here. So Cave's not going to worry about that enemy because Marvin's going to take care of him for us. Then we're going to go ahead. We see that wake right there. That means we're in the third and final phase. And we swap over to the shotgun, and you're supposed to use these platforms that spawn to avoid the poison, but as long as you jump, you can kill them before you even need to make use of that mechanic in the first place. That was a really solid Marvin. So.
Yeah, I missed. I don't know why I didn't get enough mana for another fireball there, but it's all good. The optimal stuff is on that second phase. Like Marvin doesn't even do a full spin. You just go like directly to the third phase. So we're gonna get dash here, which is gonna be our main form movement now. You dash faster when you're in the air, so it's gonna be a lot of hopping and dashing. While I'm going through this next area, Ben, how many of these enemies did you voice? Specifically,
I think there's almost 100 enemies and bosses in the game, and I think me and some of my friends did all of them, but I'm probably 80 of them. It was really funny to try to come up with sounds for this whole game, to be honest.
All right,
is there like particular enemy you enjoy voicing more than others, or love them all equally?
Some of the bosses I really like their sound design for. Limbs is probably one of my favorite though.
That's so sick. So we're gonna see a bunch of rats in this outskirts area here. You can either kill them in 2 hits with the shotgun or 1 cast of the fireball and shotgun. And so use of our mana is really important in this run because if you manage to pick up mana and your mana bar is already full, same with your ammo as well, then it will sort of clip the pickup, and it makes it so that you don't get any extra. And so we want to make sure that we're cycling our mana within reason as soon as we get it. So that way we can get maximum DPS and maximum resource usage. And so our goal at the end of this fight is to hopefully go into the boss fight coming up with maximum resources. So we're a little low on shotgun.
Real low on shotgun.
Which is a little unfortunate, but we should have full machine gun ammo, which isn't a big deal. And we're opening up a bunch of chests along the way because we're going to be looking for... and we're going to take that for the heal as well.
So also we're taking it for when we go and buy bug upgrades, you need to have a certain amount of bugs unlocked to even buy them. So you have to pick up a couple extra in this category.
All right, and so now we got Long Beast. So the way that Long Beast works is that its giant body makes a circle around the arena that you can't pass through, and he doesn't normally have a crit hit location. So normally when you hit enemies or bosses on the head or in the eyes, it will deal critical damage. So what Cave is doing is actually manipulating the rat that the boss spawns to lunge attack into these weak points in the boss's outer body, which will stun the boss and keep it from moving, as well as give us a free ammo drop as well. And so at this point we are going to go ahead and we got another poison attack. It's a little unfortunate. So he's going to lift his weak points up right here, and he's going to spend both of his spells right here, finish him off with a pistol hopefully in a moment. Fight's a little bit funky because we didn't have a lot of shotgun ammo going in, but that's still a 9 flat, so that's pretty good. All right, so that's Long Beast. So something that we set up for earlier that we didn't have time to mention quite yet is that we didn't take any checkpoints on our way up through here since last time we were in Marvin's domain, and that was very particular. So normally the way that the game progression works is that you're supposed to, the way from Marvin's domain to here is a one-way trip in casual play. But if you pick up the Metroidvania upgrade here to climb up walls and then quit and reload, it will save that item to your file, but return you back to the checkpoint you last saved at. And so we can use that to return to Marvin's domain without having to go through the very lost swamp, which we will need to return through later because there is a boss that we need to defeat there. But this allows us to go ahead and grab the sparkling gem. We can quit and reload to do a similar type of thing. And then we're going to do a quick menu right here to swap in Mush Frog and regular Frog over Dragonfly. This will make our tongue longer and auto-target onto nearby critters. And that's going to be really important in Yellow Forest because there are going to be these birds that we want to catch that will instant refresh our dash for a small period of time, and that allows us to get some really cool movement through here. All right, and so we're going to be doing the first of 2 arena skips here. We're going to be doing a dash jump, so you dash and then do a jump input, and then we're going to be cruising along the side of this arena. That was extremely clean, Cave. Nicely done.
I'm telling you, you got to learn that version, Jackson.
Yeah, so I know. I'm a fraud.
No. All right, so we're going to take that save point. Oh, go ahead, Ben. No,
the movement's pretty bouncy off of walls and things in this game, so you don't get stuck. And the first time they figured out how to skip those arenas, I was trying it myself, and I failed for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So we're going to head into the very last swamp now. So the reason that we did that quit and reload is because it ends up that if we go backwards into very last swamp, it puts us right in the boss arena. So we had a couple more insects for a collection along the way, and this is Yanoi. So this is kind of like the first major like boss that we see that isn't really seen in any percent because we just bypass him in the 100% runs. Now we're going to see Supo here. So the way that this fight works is we got kind of this boss that jumps around, and then Supo will occasionally spawn in on top. And what you need to do is actually shoot at Supo in order to not only drop ammo, but to keep him from shooting at you. He's also going to spawn some enemies right here. So Cave is just kind of taking this a little safe here, waiting to like refill with the shotgun here in order to make sure we're good to go. Should be a couple more hits out. Just a little bit more quick.
Oh my god, what a juke.
He's hiding.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nice. All right, so we're gonna spare Supo here as well. There's actually an achievement that you get if you just murder Supo here, which is very funny. But we're gonna go ahead and make use of that save point that we got to quit and reload. We just unlocked the bow, which is going to be kind of the equivalent of our sniper weapon. And now we're doing a optional boss here, placeholder, way earlier than kind of what you'd expect. This is like an optional boss that I believe gets you a bug slot. So if you can do it early, it's really worthwhile, but it's very difficult to dodge his attacks. He's got really big hitboxes, really fast movement. So Cave kind of has a specific like set of audio cues that he's going to be listening for to know exactly when to dodge out of the way. We're making pretty good progress here. So now the boss is going to go into its flying mode. So we're going to go ahead and try to use the bow here. The bow does a lot of damage. That was a pretty quick phase change.
Yeah, that was very weird. Only stayed around for one. Is there a like? I don't know. Is there like a max and minimum amount of times he can do that then?
Yeah, he can go around. I think it's like 1.5 to 3, depending on kind of your position.
Jeez, that was another good one. We'll see again here that Cave is kind of making use of his mana pretty much as soon as he can. We're going to see in a moment that the boss is going to fly into the center here so we can have an opportunity to shoot at him a little bit. And he's going to get some very silly weaponry. And now he's going to start to juke us by going behind the tree at our camera value. And then like turning around and trying to juke us the opposite way. So Cave is kind of backing up a little bit, just trying to make sure he can get as many headshots in as possible. And then we're kind of waiting on the boss to drop down and swoop at us again like we saw earlier.
I actually prefer when he stays up longer because you can just get like more free damage off.
Yeah, it's technically faster.
Like, attacks.
Yeah, it's a little faster for him to drop down to the ground because then you can get shotgun shell headshots. I would go ahead and toss that fireball. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, this is where it gets really tricky. Oh, you got him. Nice.
I think I blacked out for that last phase. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that was a good save. That's a boss that like you can fight whenever, but you're expected to come there a lot later with better upgrades and better gear. So Cave managed to hit that first try, which is pretty dang incredible. And we're gonna see another quick swap in for the mush frog here, just so we can get these birds a bit faster. We're gonna see a skip for another combat section here. So we're gonna use the geometry that's on these walls as well as these bamboo shoots, I believe. We're gonna shoot this guy in the face so he doesn't bother us. We're gonna jump and then dash. Good save. Oh, you hit it.
I'm not very good. This one, I had to learn a different way. Like the dash jump never works for me, so I just send like a jump and dash, and it's the lineup is iffy at best. But it's definitely more consistent than the other one for me.
And it's worth as well quitting and reloading to respawn and go for this again than it is to actually sit through the fight.
Nice.
That looks good. That's the tricky part. And then we can just bounce along these bamboo shoots off the flowers and make our way out of there. Nice. We'll take the second try for sure.
Oh, 100%. Here comes limb skip, if you want to talk about that and also funny dialogue.
Yeah, so you can just jump over that and hop into the limbs fight. It's actually faster to do that than it is to go in the door the normal way because the game is normally trying to...
hello?
Ooh, are you in jail? That was a little unfortunate with the way that the boss passed. But it's okay. Because we got that checkpoint right there and we can go ahead and just make our way back in. That's like maybe a 15-second at worst.
I don't know if I've ever died to limbs.
Yeah, you just got kind of
crazy?
owned, unfortunately. And so the way this boss works is that we just need to shoot him in the eyes on the side of the coconut, and then that will cause him to get stunned, and then we can hit him underneath for some DPS. So I believe that this boss is actually damage gated, where you can only do a certain amount of damage per phase. I might be wrong.
Yeah, no, it's damage gated. You're correct.
I was actually right about something for once. Holy crap. At least it felt damage gated when I was doing the soup boss rush. It was like, wow, this fight is taking just as long as it did, and I played it with no upgrades. I was like, huh? Yeah, this fight's pretty chill. Otherwise, you're gonna notice whenever we're fighting a boss that those red stripes appear that on the body. That means the boss is in critical HP, which means we're almost done with this fight. So that was a nice snipe. And this boss also gives us a ton of mana to work with here. This is a pretty chill boss compared to Placeholder at the very least. Yeah, we're just chilling here for a little bit, and then we're going to be making our way nicely done.
Yeah, it makes it even more bizarre that took a limbs death, but no placeholder death.
Yeah, so we're gonna go underneath here and look for a couple of fish to eat. We're looking for a turtle, a minnow, and a bass. The bass is the important one because when we equip it, it'll increase our swim speed. So we're gonna go ahead and equip all of those right here. And then this fight coming up, again, all the enemies spawn in predetermined locations, so we have setups for all of them. And so we're going to start by just shotgunning this guy in the face. He's going to explode. 2, 3, just like that. And then for this part right here, if we wait until the fish start getting close enough, we can use these explosive puffer fish to actually go ahead and kill all of these piranhas for us. It's really convenient. All right, so we got a good bit of them right there. Now we're going to go ahead and swim the rest of the way through here. There's a boss that we're going to take care of in a little bit. I'm going to double check the notes for his name. I think it's Bog and Chog.
Bog and Chog, baby.
We're bogging, we're chogging. This is, again, a boss that is technically optional. It will get us a weapon upgrade, a brand new weapon. That's going to be really nice to have for later. Going to be making use of that bow, which is a single fire weapon, which does a ton of damage if you manage to get that headshot. And then the shotgun is also really powerful as well. And this is the tricky part, is when they start dashing across, and you gotta kind of react to which way that they're turning towards in order to be able to dash out of the way. All right, so now we got Chog popping in. Now we got 2 guys for the price of 1. The nice thing too is they're gonna spawn a bunch of piranhas here, which will give us a lot more mana and ammo to work with as well. So. Good dodge. Yeah, there's gonna be parts of this run where Cave is just kind of locking in to make sure he doesn't die too bad, get too owned by a boss.
There's definitely a rhythm to the fights, and yeah, once the rhythm gets lost, it can be pretty challenging.
Yeah, that's also kind of why Cave is sort of saving his mana in this fight, just because it can kind of snowball and allows him to get kind of a quick pocket heal if he needs to. All right, so when we see this one fish in particular start to swim around, that means that the boss has gone into its second phase. So it's going to start to spin us around in a circle here, and we're going to need to go either above or below this laser. So this is just a DPS portion, so... Nice, good fight.
There we go.
I don't know why. That boss I also struggle with for some reason. It's all the ones that aren't any % bosses are They feel newer than the,
Yeah.
The any percent run's funny because you guys fight what? It's the long beast, and then you don't fight another boss for what is it 6 minutes?
Yeah.
So Chroma or Hedge? No, Hedge
It's
first.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's nuts. They go from basically boss 2 to boss 9.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we were gonna try to look for a bridge frog on the way out of there. Unfortunately, we got the Melora dialogue, so we weren't quite able to do it just there.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Jackson. I think I just forgot.
That's all good. You wouldn't have been able to if you even wanted to.
Yeah,
we're gonna sell all the smooth stones we've been collecting over the run. This is kind of our major shopping trip, where we're going to be selling a bunch of the stuff we've been finding in chests, as well as buying some stuff for us here. So we're gonna go ahead and get the square rock right here. You can actually fit your body through this window right here, just a fun little skip. And we're gonna head back to Yellow Forest for a couple of reasons. Part of this is the shopping trip, but also when we defeated Bog and Chog, we got the eel trophy. 3. We're gonna buy beans, we're gonna buy the magnet roach, and that's gonna be all we want from this vendor right here. Then we're gonna do some shoplifting. So this guy has a sparkling gem, but if you steal it, he permanently raises all of his shop prices, so we save that for last, so we can get the maximum value. And then this guy will trade us the Bog and Chog trophy for the grenade launcher, which is a very powerful single fire weapon, which I'm specifying single fire because it will become a very important part of our build later on.
Where'd the, oh, there it is. Where's this time? That's it. Give me. I'm so mush frog pilled. I need my auto aim on the bug collection.
There we go. We need to make sure that we have a certain amount of bugs eaten over the course of we're still too short. Right. So probably bridge frog.
Here's what else I'm missing that I normally pick up. I'm gonna go get a roof snail.
Yeah, go get a roof snail and that should get you.
Trying to figure out what I missed previously, because I definitely normally have enough. Hopefully something important. Anyways,
so we had a bunch of money left over, and now we're gonna that's gonna give us some extra bug slots, and now we're gonna go take on, I believe his name is Shoto. So we can basically completely bypass this whole section by lowering our frame rate to 30 FPS, and if we dash into certain pieces of collision, it will just allow us to slip right through.
Oopsie.
So this will probably take a couple tries. It's a little finicky on this one.
Yeah, I was surprised this door lets.
There we go.
But yep, there you go.
There's also a slightly faster version that you can do that you can do it off of the door that's normally the exit to Shoto's boss room, but this is a little bit more consistent. And the way that this boss works is the first phase he's going to jump around to all these platforms and make it so that it's dangerous to land upon them. And so we're just going to go ahead and make use of all of our ammo whenever possible. Again, we really want to make sure that we don't accidentally pick up ammo that we don't have room for, because that's just wasted resources. And so now we're going to go into a phase with the laser shocks. So we're just going to be dashing from platform to platform, because they'll electrify these different platforms and make it dangerous for us to stand upon. And so during these phases, when he's hopping around, we're going to peek behind us for a little bit just to throw in some extra DPS. He's going to do that attack, which can be a little annoying to dodge as well. This is also a big reason why we don't just rely on the shotgun as well, because it can be a little tricky. All right, this means we're in phase 2, which means he's going to start floating. And now we're going to go ahead and position ourselves behind the boss here. This is just going to make sure that we are in a safe position. Excuse me, my voice is a little dead from yelling and screaming at AGDQ as it goes. All right, and that should
fight
be
go that long. I don't even know what that attack was.
That was a pretty solid fight, though.
Yeah. So you saw I had to do a lot of pixel ammo there, which just drastically slows everything down.
All right, and now we're
wait for the money.
Yeah, we gotta wait for the money to count up, unfortunately. But we're gonna go ahead and buy our first weapon upgrade, which is the single shot shotgun, and then it'll eventually give it to us. And this will turn our shotgun from a double barrel shotgun into a single barrel shotgun, and so it combines the power of 2 shells into a single shot, which doesn't sound like much, but with a specific bug loadout build, it's going to be very critical for some absolutely ridiculous damage coming up. And so there's 2 ways you can do this next section. If you have the mana for it, you can do what's called a mush bomb bounce. But we didn't have enough mana coming out of Shoto, so we're going to go ahead and cap our frame rate to around 30 FPS, and then kind of wiggle at a specific part of this web right here, and eventually it will just clip us right through. Nice.
I should have never put on half my spells. Let me go.
Yeah, we should probably go do that real quick.
Or the bugs. Oh, that's why the fight took so long. I didn't have any bugs on.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
There we go. And so now we have our major DPS build equipped here. You're going to notice that Cave looks like he's cheating. And that's because he's using something called a secret synergy, where when you have a specific bug equipped, if you cast a specific spell, it procs a bonus effect. In the case of beans, if you have Mush Frog equipped, it will allow your bullets to home in on enemies for several seconds. It's pretty busted. And it's going to allow us to DPS through a lot of enemies super quick here. We're going to see another web clip here at a low 30 FPS frame rate. That should do it. And we're looking for this specific spot right here. If we move our character angle and our camera a little bit, usually that helps us to clip in. This one's a little finicky sometimes.
Yeah, this one I've had real issues with in practice too for some reason. I used to be able to just walk up I think it's the more you think about it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we first discovered it, I was just walking into the web and going through it. And now it's like, now that I have a lineup for it, it's way worse.
Nice.
All right, coming up, we do have the scariest skip of the run, I would say. If you want to go ahead and talk about Manner Skip, Jaxler.
Yeah, so Manner Skip is probably one of the most difficult tricks in the entire game. Normally, we are required to get a red key from the old well, which we will go to later. But we want to get here earlier for kind of a bunch of different reasons. So we're going to plant a mush bomb and then jump as soon as it explodes. This is going to rocket us up and over, out of bounds. And then we are going to use the fact that when we have cricket equipped, we get 2 dashes stored to do what's called wall bounces. Nice. That was really clean, dude. All right, and now we need to do that at 60 FPS because wall bounces have different properties at different frame rates. This is going to get us through the estate, and it also lets us skip an ambush encounter in estate as well. That was really good, dude.
Yeah, in my PB for this, I actually soft lock myself and lose a lot of time. I also lose a lot of time because fog flies in a place that I can't grab. Ben.
Oh no.
All right, so now we're going to be kind of equipping our major DPS build here, which is throwing on Fogfly. And so the way that Fogfly works is it gives us a giant damage increase for the first round shot out of every clip of ammo. And so this scales incredibly well with single fire weapons, where basically every time you shoot the weapon, it is the first shot of the clip. So it's just free DPS for those types of weapons. So a big reason why we upgrade the shotgun so early is that it basically gives us a huge damage boost with Fogfly, and you're going to see that allow us to, in combination with Mushrock Beans, to home in our bullets on enemies. The damage output is frankly criminal. We've got one more enemy somewhere.
Hello?
There he is. Okay. All right, and so we're going to eat these ammo flies as well to get a refill on our shotgun ammo. We're heading into Hedgeward next, and the way that Hedgeward works is he has a bunch of eyeballs that spawn on his body that act as critical hit points. And we're going to make use of that with Beans as well as Fogfly reload speed increase to just decimate this boss. It's gross, frankly.
Have you seen the finisher stuff yet with Hedge?
Oh, with the finisher bombs? Yeah.
Yeah. It's hysterical. I usually save it for the second go around when there's more eyes to hit.
And so in this phase right here, the boss is going to split up into 2 hedge pieces, and we're going to just make use of the machine gun ammo, just because it's a little hard to get crit hits while we're kind of dashing around the arena. And then these spikes in particular are probably the hardest attacking phase to deal with, I would say. Now we're going to go make use of the finisher bomb, which is going to explode and hit all the eyes at once for massive damage. And this is also going to allow us to refill our ammo really fast too. So this is the big reason why we wanted to take care of some of those optional bosses early before getting here, is because it really allows us to make use of all the ammo drops that we get. And wow, that was an insane last phase.
Yeah.
Great work. All right, so that is going to be Hedgeward taken care of right there. That's going to unlock the wood cannon for us, which is going to be another single fire weapon. That's kind of like the BFG. If you played any of the Doom games, it's just a big single fire weapon. I'm surprised he respawned.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. Ben?
And Patrick, no, I'm just kidding.
Ben's live dropping enemies into my save file.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
That's crazy. All right, so something we're actually going to see here as well is we're going to be making our way back through this door the wrong way, because we actually did not open the door the correct way, and we need to go fight Valda next. So we're going to go walk into this door at a specific spot and then dash, and then hopefully that clips us through.
This one's another one that encoded a little too good. Not good enough though.
Yeah, I thought that door was good enough. I remember when you guys were playing the any percent, and what would you say that skip actually saves? It's probably like 10 minutes.
It's like 10 minutes, yeah.
Absurd amount. I mean, you don't have to do Valda. You don't have to do Old Well is the real big time save. When we get to Old Well, we'll see that. But not having to do Old Well is the really big time save here.
Yeah, so Valda here is a bit of a tricky fight. Another boss that doesn't really have a critical hit point. Wow, you got 2 drops of the wood cannon. That's crazy.
That was super nice.
And so the way that this boss works is it has a bunch of tree fruit that, depending on which one it eats, will do a different attack. And so we're going to be making use of all of our single fire weapon ammo for just maximum damage with the fog fly. And so we're kind of waiting on some ammo drops here. That's one of the tricky things. It's also is part of the reason why we route the bosses in the order that we do, is we want more weapons so we can cycle through more ammo, which just kind of allows us to keep consistent damage going. So the boss is not giving us a lot of attacks that drop ammo. This yellow pineapple, I think, will eventually give us something, and maybe these cherry bombs too. But we'll see.
Yeah, cherry bombs will help.
Yeah, because we'll spawn these guys. Now you should have some single target. Yeah, we're getting plenty of shotgun ammo now.
Alright, we're good.
So different power level weapons have different chances of dropping ammo. So the most common is the machine gun as well as the shotgun. And then on top of that, some of the other things like the bow is pretty common, as well as the flamethrower that will unlock after this fight. And then things like the grenade launcher, the wood cannon, and then the chain gun we'll get later is also pretty low drop rate as well, I believe. That was a solid Valda. Good save.
Yeah, that's good.
Despite the real lack of ammo, Ben.
Yeah, you make it work, you know?
Hey, that's your PC. That's not my fault.
Oh, yeah. Ben snuck into my house and installed a faulty save.
Yeah, we're just going to be doing some movement right here. We're going to be heading over to the Old Well next, which is kind of that big, annoying segment that you would normally skip. But we've got a couple of fights here with these bat enemies that are pretty scary to deal with. So we're going to make use of the bow here, and then we're going to swap over to something that lets us use beans. Just a moment here. Yeah, we're trying to make sure we cycle through all of our ammo just as much as possible. Goodbye. A couple more bat spawns, and then I've not fought this combat encounter in forever. I actually kind of forgot it was here. I'm gonna be so real.
That's how it definitely feels doing 80% into this category. Is it?
Wait, that
Old Well
exists?
Old Well was another nightmare. The deep, whole deep section. I was going through. I was like, "There's no way this was in the game." Last time I played it.
And all these arenas were fun to design because they're all just little quick puzzles that, as a developer, you're kind of imagining how would people do this quick? And then it's just fun to see people, figure it out.
There's no way that guy got into the arena. That's crazy.
I think you'll see Cave do as well with anytime he casts beans, is he'll actually aim above a lot of the enemies, because a lot of enemies' critical hit point is their head. And so the bullets will take the path of least resistance once beans after effect bonus effect is triggered. So if you by aiming up, it will actually cause the bullets to be more likely to home in on the head. And these enemies like to do the swanton bomb on you, so you gotta be really careful not to let them get too close.
Yeah, this arena is a bad time for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
But not for Cave today.
Surely not. Exactly. Definitely didn't miss 3 bow shots at the end there. That was just a visual glitch. That one in particular just had a lot of health.
Yeah, totally.
Coming up on the the thickness. I always just want to default and call it Lost Woods. But yeah, thickness. Also now realizing I don't think I totally remembered the way through. It's a left, right, left, something like that. I'll play it by ear.
I'll take your word for it.
He's doing pretty well so far.
I think it is left. Do you know, Ben, and you're just not telling me?
Oh, I know. What do you mean?
Yeah, should have studied for the test. Not the professor's fault that I came unprepared. It's right now.
It is funny designing like a Metroidvania world in 3D because things get confusing significantly faster. But you're doing great. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good now. I got past all the confusing bits.
I like to call this arena "Don't Talk to Me or My Sons Ever Again." It's just like the one big guy and then like the little duck dudes.
This is where I'm gonna get a lot of use out of beans, trying to figure out what these guys are in the trees.
I guess this build, the woodpeckers aren't very good.
Honestly, didn't even. Okay. Just. Oh, it's not that way. It's right. Nope, not that one either. Middle. Final answer.
Dilly double.
Alright, we're good. We're actually gonna take that save point. When I was first routing it out, I thought it would be a save and quit situation, but it's actually just faster to like just walk out of the forest.
Yeah.
That warp point back's pretty far away.
Yeah, like the next closest one out there. Like I guess maybe if you like go up to Old Well and backtrack, but like by that point you're doing too much.
Ooh, that might be faster.
Looks like I have no shotgun ammo, which is totally fine. And here's Jumbo, who plays much like your favorite browser game.
Yeah, this is Snake IO. He has a couple of different attacks that he'll do where he's kind of like making this big line around the arena. So Kate is making sure to kind of keep a long radius around the end of the arena and then kind of snaking around after just to make sure that he doesn't take too much damage in this phase. Eventually the boss will become, will kind of, like when you have one of those tape measures.
Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna stand still.
Oh my goodness, he lived.
It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if we mentioned this earlier. This game's really hard. So I think he's now going to do his spinny attack. Where he's gonna,
also, one thing that may come up is the guys in the ceiling right here. You may be asking why I don't just always use beans, and the answer is that Fireball costs less. So there's times where you just like need healing, like how I need now, and I can't find health. But yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
I got trolled by the ceiling guys. But yeah, that'd be the main difference between using. Oh no. Well turned around. That'd be the main difference between using like beans and fireball. Is beans I'll use if I'm like feeling good on my health and just want to like pour in damage, and then fireball is like I'm in danger, I just need health and I need to conserve mana.
So we actually had a really interesting question in the chat for Ben here, and I was curious to hear your answer. A lot of people have been wondering if it'd be possible to have like some kind of like randomizer for this game. In terms of like, randomizing item locations or like bosses or something like that. Have you ever considered that at all for this game, or has it just been too much of a Herculean task?
I think it would be pretty cool. This game, this is the first game I've released, and it's on a custom engine, and the backside of the game would be pretty brutal to implement something like that.
I see.
Unfortunately. And a lot of the bosses do have, well, specifically with the randomizers of bosses, like, right, a lot of the bosses, the arena and the boss play together.
Right.
So you can't really separate the two, unfortunately.
Do you think like an item randomizer would work? Like, for example, like, I don't know, let's say you get your fireball like after killing Jumbo, for example. Like, do you think something like that would be feasible, or is it even still on the back end?
I think for the most part, I'm trying to think, you would have to watch out for obviously like the Metroidvania,
like the logic and the progression stuff.
Yeah, the logic and the progression. But I would honestly like, I would sit down and see if the item part would be, feasible, because I think that potentially, I don't want to promise anything to anyone.
Yeah. I think
we're actually just strong arming Ben into more Frogmonster development.
Exactly.
I'm also struggling big time with Jumbo for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But it happens. Just gonna play a little safer on this section.
But yeah, no, all these bosses super tough. Most of the time, a first try of a boss is pretty rare. The first time
just walking into him. I'm gonna save the beans this time for the fellas on the ceiling. I'll soon to be out of ammo. I'm no longer out of ammo. Go ahead and get those guys out of here.
There we go.
There we go, indeed. Yeah, we should be good now.
Yeah.
I say moments before disaster.
Yeah, before he saws you in half.
And I'll quickly say we do have a hype train going on in the chat. And so your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, bits, etc., share it on the GDQ Twitch channel, which is right here. Help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you're enjoying watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel. You'll get access to our emails, and during replays, including like the AGDQ 2025 replay, you'll have access to chat with other subscribers when we go into chat only mode. So with the hype train going on, thank you for everyone who's already doing that, but consider doing that if you feel so inclined. And you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out our season 4 schedule. We have just started putting together our 2025 schedule, so make sure you take a look in depth at what we're doing for not only this week, but every show that we have on offer. But with that, it looks like we're going down to the well, so I'll toss it back.
All right, yeah.
One thing you'll notice, I put on the slow spell. This is literally the only time in the whole run we're going to use it, and it's like a super niche purpose. But yeah, the well is basically just going to have a lot of enemies come out, and we're just going to try to kill them. I know QD mentioned you had other announcements. This would probably be a good time to do them. This is just going to be a lot of me fighting enemies.
There's always more we can talk about here in Hotfix. A lot of you have watched and enjoyed and are joining us from AGDQ 2025, which was awesome, as the name implies. But we do have year-round events here at GDQ, and our next one coming up is Back to Black 2025, which is the upgrade to UBAF, and will be live February 6th to 9th here on the Games Done Quick Twitch channel. If you're looking at the calendar, that's roughly 3 to 4 weeks away, and will be benefiting Race Forward. So make sure you catch all that action and support that incredible cause. You can type !BTB in chat and see the event schedule. And if you want to find out more about the all-black speedrunning community, try typing !BAF in chat and we'll get you more information there as well.
It's going to be our one usage of the slow spell. It's just for that enemy specifically. There's going to be one more of those, so we're going to technically get one more use out of it. But basically that enemy will go to the middle and like absorb your light. And then start spitting fire at you and just do like ridiculous damage. So slowing him down is twofold. It's to stop him from attacking, and then also to make it so we can keep seeing. If he does eat the light, we can still use the flamethrower to bring it back, but it's just easier to stop him before any of it happens.
Fighting in the dark is pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm definitely struggling with the ammo here for whatever reason. I might do like a floor or two of just pistol ammo or something, because I'm fighting for my life with ammo RNG.
Yeah, the nice thing too is with the way that the bosses are routed, we actually managed to get a maximum mana upgrade, which is really, really nice to have. You don't really have that luxury in any of the other categories.
No, same with health. You get like 2 health upgrades in this route too, which is crazy.
Yeah, kind of like the difference between this and like other categories is that this category is like early mid game is a lot harder, but it makes the late game really safe and consistent. Whereas it's not as bad like comparatively early mid game in any percent and no ridge skip, but the late game's impossible. Just because you come in with so few resources. I wouldn't say impossible, because the runners have been able to make incredible things happen.
There may or may not be proof of several people in here doing it.
Yeah, perhaps. Oh my goodness. But yeah, this is a big reason why it's really important to skip this section in the any percent categories. Like, just look how long this takes.
Oh, okay. I want to see if I can make this jump still. Nice, I can still make the jump. Now I'm just going to use a flamethrower, pick up... That's our last metal orb. We're going to upgrade our wood cannon. So, yeah, we pick up that orb. It's just kind of on the way. Like, and this is the... And when Ben was talking earlier about how mana skip saved a lot of time, that's the time save right there. You don't have to do old well in any percent because of mana skip.
Yeah, it's also technically faster to like attempt to do this without getting that checkpoint, so that we can quit and reload back to the top of the elevator. But Cave is not going to take that risk.
Actually, I think it automatically takes.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, you don't even have the option.
That's cringe.
Extremely, Ben.
I'm trying to think of why I did that. I'm trying. I'm asking like 2023 Ben what he was thinking.
This is maybe one of my favorite fights though, just because you have all of these like spider eggs that are littered about that you can break in order to refill your ammo. And it makes for like a really fun and dynamic fight. I think you've got...
Yeah, he's grabbing
on in jail.
I could eat it, yeah.
He just wants to give you a hug, Cave. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. That's on me, actually. I would be super weird about it.
Yeah. Be better. He's almost dead, though. You're having a really solid fight here so far, though. This is like a low-key, like, really dangerous fight to manage in this last phase. Just because he has good movement and, yeah, he can do that as well. That was a good dodge.
Oh, goodness. Can you just die for me?
Nice.
There you go.
I have the right build on, right? I'm not tripping. Alright. So yeah, now we're just gonna save and quit there. We don't really need to talk to Trench. We have enough money for everything we need. So we can just save and quit back to the elevator instead of trying to blindly feel our way. Using our frog's echolocation. Is that right, Ben? Is that a frog fact or no?
That is, sure. You can make that a frog fact.
Frogs have echolocation. This is actually now an information stream.
Yeah, huge lore dump.
Come at. But we confirmed earlier this game happens in a place, so you know
we did. We
different there.
The lore is sound. All right. So we're gonna teleport back to the city, and we're gonna just really quick go grab this wood cannon upgrade, and then we're gonna head over to Treetops, where we're gonna take on 3 more bosses before we sort of hit like the big halfway point boss.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and upgrade that wood cannon to bigger, which is just a great name for an upgrade. This takes a powerful weapon and gives it more damage and a piercing property, which means that bullets will travel through multiple enemies and deal damage to all of them. It's really gross, and it's going to be very helpful for us later. So we are going to go ahead and do a quick build change. We're just going to throw on Bass so that we can swim a little faster up this waterfall coming up.
Oopsies. It's fine. Save.
Something we'll start to notice as we get further and further on into the run is that we're really going to start to base our builds around specific fights. So in this instance, for example, we're actually going to swap over to something called Mantis Minnow. You can menu. There you go.
There we go. Just gonna click for a second. And I throw Riverfish.
Yeah, Riverfish for the mana. Yeah, or the ammo. Yeah,
I'm also gonna go ahead and change my shotgun now. We can talk about why we're switching off of our amazing shotgun upgrade. But
yeah, we'll talk about that once we get to the fight, but we got a bit of a platforming segment. The big reason for this build change is for Mantis Minnow. Mantis creates this little familiar that sits on your head that occasionally shoots at enemies for you. If you see a hit marker, even though Cave isn't firing his weapon, that's the Mantis doing its job. And by equipping the Minnow, we can increase the rate of fire of this Mantis because it improves the abilities of all spawned familiars. And so there's going to be a couple of bosses and enemies that are going to be really annoying for us to take on ourselves. But with the chip damage from Mantis, it actually makes it a lot easier to handle that. And it's going to matter a lot for the next boss we're going to see in a bit here called Chroma. But for this next fight here, Cave is actually going to be pretty liberal in his usage of certain pieces of ammo. So he gets rid of his wood cannon ammo. We're going to see some other pieces of ammo get used as well. We're going to be using our spells a lot because Chroma, the next boss, doesn't have a traditional health meter. So we get a bit less value from things like the beam synergy as well as certain types of weapons.
Like Fogfly is useless for Chroma.
Yeah.
So we don't really bother with the single shot build anymore at this point.
It's worth noting as well is that even though we're on like the base shotgun upgrade, it still does bonus damage because we upgraded it at all, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we're still getting some value out of that upgrade we saw earlier. And now we're going to see kind of why we so drastically swapped around everything. It's for this boss right here, Chroma. So Chroma is one of the most unique bosses in the game in that the way that you deal damage to the boss is by hitting it in the wings. And this will change the color that appears on its wings. So in this fight, you actually don't want damage per second. You want spread and coverage. This is actually why we went back to the earlier shotgun upgrade, is because it actually has a worse spread, which means that individual shotgun clips will cover more square footage of the boss's wings. This is also why spells typically aren't used all that much in this fight, is because they only cover a single dot. So we want to be shooting our gun more so. So it makes more sense to use our higher fire rate ammo as well as like higher spread ammo to cover the boss in different colors as quickly as possible. So it's holding over to the wall now. This is going to start the next phase. It's going to start jumping around the arena, and we've saved our grenade launcher ammo.
And this one doesn't do much. I'm just actually out of ammo with everything else.
Yeah. A big reason we also have our good pal Mantis Minnow equipped is because it will be able to take care of all of those wasps that the boss summons in one hit, which allows us to focus on firing down the boss. Nicely done.
There we go.
That was a pretty good chroma. That can be a little bit left dependent depending on what ammo drops that you get. So we're going to unequip Mantis Minnow, and we're going to go ahead and throw on a couple of different changes as well. Are you missing a bug, or am I crazy?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, Fogfly, Dragonfly.
I forgot that you don't put on Leaf Bug with this setup.
Yeah, so we're actually going to soon. Because Timbol's going to give us another bug slot, and then that's when we swap out Dragonfly for Leaf Bug.
I forgot,
this build. Yeah.
This is another
is just more important
boss
than Leaf Bug at this point.
Exactly. We didn't really mention what Leaf Bug does, though. We'll explain what it does when we re-equip it. But this is one of the hardest fights in the game, which is Timbol. He's going to spawn these cicadas that are going to chase after us, as well as a good friend of our Supo is going to appear as well, and he's going to shoot a railgun on us. Hi, Supo. So you can shoot at Supo as well in order to deal damage as well, and you should, because it'll give us a bunch more ammo. This is a really, really dangerous fight, so I'm kind of just going to let Cave kind of handle this. We're trying to make sure we take care of some of the fodder enemies just so we can get some more mana fill up. So we're kind of saving our rocket launcher ammo for that reason.
And yeah, Cutie, if you want to, go do any more announcements during this, you definitely can. It's going to be basically just me just trying to run around Timbol. He's going to revive the cicadas. I'll kill them when they come up if I need mana, or I just want less enemies following me around. But yeah, nothing too crazy. So you can go ahead and read out some stuff.
Sure. I got you, man. We talked about GDQ, we talked about Back to Black, but we do also have GDQ's next all-women and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025, which will be live here from March 9th to 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. So visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on that event. Don't forget to mark your schedule for all of these, and I believe the SGDQ dates are out as well, so that you don't miss a single thing that's going on this channel or anywhere else. And if you want to keep tabs on that, if you need a little bit of a help, you can join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on all of these upcoming events. You can talk with staff and more. So use !Discord in the Twitch chat for more information. I'll throw that in chat right now just so you have it. But looks like we finished that up, so back to you.
Yeah, perfect. Did I not get the gun? Ben, if I save and quit too fast, is it gone forever? I need that gun, Ben. Did
you save and quit too fast? He might still be there in the arena, honestly.
Supo, please. Actually,
wasn't finished.
Oh no, the gun's gone. It's fine. I don't need it that bad.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if we don't have it. Like, we do unlock a gun by defeating Timbol right there.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I'm trying to think if I think if you go to the city, you can buy it, but obviously
that is true. But you might have to kill Supo.
Whatever. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's not like a really good gun or anything. That gun rocks.
It's a cool gun, but it doesn't really synergize with our kit, so it's not like the end of the world. And now we're going to go into Hive. This is a really cool area of the game. I just think the music, and as well as the boss that we're going to fight here, is one of my favorites. If you're watching this game at all and you think this is super sick, please buy this game. It's like $20 on Steam. It's one of the best games of last year. And the bosses are going to get cooler and cooler from here. We're going to go ahead and pick up a bee. We were going to add that to our loadout a bit later. But I also mentioned that we'd talk about Leaf Bug once we got to equip it. So Leaf Bug gives our guns a small chance to fire double the amount of projectiles out of it. And this includes our shotgun. So instead of just doubling an individual little piece of the pellet, it doubles the entire clip, which is cosmically broken if you get it in combination with Fogfly. So it's just going to allow us to decimate some of the enemies coming up here.
Also with Wood Cannon also gets the bonus with Leaf Bug. When you get the double Wood Cannon, Leaf Bug with everything, it goes crazy.
All right, so this is Foraz. This is a really cool boss where he kind of like will go behind these different pillars and then like reappear somewhere else. It's really cool. It's a really fun fight as well, just to try to manage where he's going and keep track of him.
This is one of my favorite like 1v1 type fights where it almost feels like, he's kind of on your playing field, but he's kind of not at the same time. This is fun to watch, people try to do fast, because a lot of these bosses aren't in the normal quick any percent speedrun.
Yeah, so some of these bosses are just like optional bosses too, so.
Yeah, you saw a Leaf Bug one there. You'll know it's a Leaf Bug shot whenever you see like yellow around it.
And that also stacks with Fogfly as well. So you get bonus damage on everything. It's really nice. This fight's also pretty tricky because it typically doesn't really give you all that much in the way of mana to work with, so.
Yeah, it's pretty mana starved. This is the final phase.
This is kind of where he throws the kitchen sink at you. Couple more hits.
Nice.
There we go.
So that's one of the scariest save and quits because I didn't take the save point in Hive. So you're going to see we're going to come right back to Cicada Cove. Which, I'd have to go back through all the Hive again, which is just annoying. But thankfully, don't have to do that.
All right, and so now we're going to be coming up on Rooney in a moment. There's going to be a really tricky boss fight coming up here. But we're going to be looking for this purple snack. This is going to give us a free cast of beans going into this next ambush encounter.
Which it just speeds up the fight a little bit, which is nice.
It's really nice, yeah.
But you probably just level Rooney with all these guns right now.
Oh, wait till you see it, dude. I don't know if I don't know if you or Jackson have seen the all bosses stuff, but it's hysterical, that fight. Especially if you're like Jackson's familiar with how the Rooney fight goes. Like Jackson's Rooney splits are always insane. So I think him especially. I think you're gonna cry seeing this.
After the game was launched, I added a boss rush mode where you're jumping through these soups that the butcher is using the boss parts to make. And it is funny fighting a lot of the bosses with a full build because it is a completely different experience.
Right, like broth. I can only imagine having wood.
Yeah, you really want to shotgun him there.
Oopsies. Ideally, you want to not eat the second one right away so that you actually have full ammo for that, but it's all good.
He was hungry.
He was just a little hungry. Okay, this I like to do Mantis Minnow, Mush, Fogfly, and I skip Magnet so I can have Fogfly because Fogfly just does absolutely stupid things to Rooney.
All right, so we're going to start this fight by being able to kind of shoot during the cutscene. And then we're going to go Mush Frog into shotgun shots. You get 2 of them right there, and then you can... Boom, we're already done with the first phase of Rooney right there.
And that was with me missing a what's it called? A wood cannon shot also. And had no shotgun ammo.
I thought you hit the wood cannon shot, but
I did hit the wood cannon shot, thankfully. But I could have had another wood cannon shot. Oh, he took... That's crazy that he takes the machine gun ammo from me, but I don't have it. That kind of feels wrong, actually.
It's really good that we got that attack, though, because it's really easy to DPS him and kind of just keep him in one spot for that part of the fight. So you should be swapping over soon.
Yeah. Nice.
So in this phase of the fight, he's going to steal all of our ammo and only give us 1 weapon to work with at a time. So we're going to start by kind of dashing around the arena right here, and that's the pistol phase done. This is another big reason why it's really nice to have Mantis Minnow equipped, is because it can get us some extra chip damage on this fight. while we're waiting for like ammo to pick up. And it's also going to allow us to take care of all these familiars for us. This is like the primary reason to have it equipped, is because it takes care of these guys in one hit. And a lot of times, like multiple bullets aren't quite enough. So it's really nice. It would also be really nice if it gave you ammo drops, but that's a whole nother thing. It's worth noting as well that if you don't have one of the weapons necessary for this fight, then it will use the pistol instead, which is really nice because otherwise, in other categories, this fight would be impossible. So that's neat.
And the pistol is actually quicker for a lot of the guns, which is kind of funny.
I think the flamethrower one is 100% so much faster.
Yeah, I don't doubt it at all.
Oh, yeah. Normally you are meant to have the gun in this route. I guess that's a new note for me, is to not save and quit that Timble fight too fast.
All right,
and then this is also funny with the bigger canyon plus fog fly. It just takes one.
Boom. Bye-bye.
Cutie, coming up here, I'm going to do save and quit, and it's probably a good time for a break. This is like around this is where we get to like the end game bosses.
Sure thing. Just let me know when you get there.
And we are there.
Oh, wow. That was fast. Well, here at Hotfix, we like to prioritize wellness for everyone, runners and viewers alike. So every hour and 20, 30-ish, we try to take breaks to make sure that everyone gets a chance to stand up, stretch, grab some water, go to the bathroom, whatever it is you need to do. So we will be right back after a short little break with the rest of Frogmonster, so stay tuned. Live here on GDQ Hotfix, we're in the middle of an amazing Frogmonster run by Cave. We've also got Jaxler and the developer of the game here, so definitely want to see the tail end of this. This is the first time all bosses has ever been shown, so if you're familiar with Frogmonster, you might be seeing something a little bit new here. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get back into it. And if you can give us like a 3-second countdown, we'll start the timer again.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, we'll go right back into it in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're back off from where we left after defeating Rooney. I want to re-equip a new build, which during the break I was literally saying I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing beforehand, and I didn't. It's a turtle bee.
It'll be riverfish, right?
Fly is in there. That's what I'm missing. Where is the fly?
You do fly over Mush Frog, right?
That's correct. All right, now we're going over to Barge. So now we're sort of in well, I guess Ben or Jackson, you guys can explain what we're trying to do at this point.
Yeah.
Proceed with the game.
So the way that progression in Ridge works is that there are a bunch of these Ridge bosses that exist, and you need to kill 6 out of, I believe, 8, including Rooney. And so you can tackle any number of them in any order. But obviously, since this is all bosses, we need to take care of all of them. And so the first one that we're going to take on is Barge, and we take him on from this direction just because it's a little bit faster to do so. And we also have a bit of a different build equipped because this boss also doesn't take damage in the traditional way. It's damage gated in such a way where you need to go through a certain amount of times in order to live the boss. And so what we have equipped is Fly for faster reload speed, Magnet, which we've been seeing earlier for increased pickup radius. So I'll talk a little bit more about why that's super important. I think we kind of glossed over that a little bit. We also have Turtle equipped, which we are only really going to use for this boss. This allows us to have opportunities to take some damage. This is almost like a platforming boss in a lot of ways, where you can kind of just scoot through here and not to take damage here. And the Turtle gives you a small chance to just block a hit, which allows you to be a bit more aggressive with this boss's movement.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought something looked wrong with my health bar. I forgot to talk to the cake guy. He gives me one more health thing, and I'm pretty sure it gives you like an extra slot. Unless I already picked one up from another boss.
I think you did from another boss, yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, you know what it is then? I think that it just gives me one like sooner for one of the bosses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so never mind. We're good. I didn't throw.
We're so bad, as they say.
Everyone's saying it.
Yeah, this boss's like different corridors are randomly generated from a specific set of patterns. I don't know, Ben, if you have any insight on like the way it's generated or anything like that, or if it's like completely random.
there's like 3 categories, and it picks from pools, and each of the 3 phases is basically throwing in the harder sets as well. And then there's like a certain amount of time it kind of expects you to go through the room, and there's claws following you that you want to keep moving for, which is kind of stressful in this fight, honestly.
Very stressful.
Yeah, this is honestly one of my favorite fights in the game casually, just because it's so fun to just move and cruise through. We're going to make use of the rocket launcher here in order to... you need to hit each of the 3 eyeballs on that creature in order to get through. Otherwise, it just hard walls you. It's like an invisible wall. There's a couple different weapons that you can use to clear through that quickly, but we opt for the rocket launcher because it's by far the fastest way.
Yeah, so there I'm out of rocket ammo, so had to go with something else. B's trolling me. B's supposed to save ammo on reloads every now and then, and it looks like it's not doing its job super well.
Yeah, it's a low proc chance, but it can be really huge. It can like help skip reloads. It's pretty crazy. Excuse me. So this should be the last phase, I believe. And the damage is kind of gated, so there's only like... Oh, you're good.
Real stressful start, Ben. I can't believe you do that to me. The back-to-back aliens is crazy.
I'm pretty happy with the sound these guys make.
Was that you're doing, or was that a friend?
Yeah, that's me.
I want to say most things in this game were Ben's doing, but All right, there you go. Nicely done.
There we go.
And so one thing to note about all the ridge bosses is we unlock an upgrade or one of our weapons every time. So I think it's
Snailfly and Jungle Snack. There we go. And then I'm also going to change Shotgun again here for Moridono reasons.
Yeah, Moridono is Moridono. So we quit and reload there, so we don't have to go back through the rest of the Underdark.
I still have never made that one jump, and I always have to use the ladder. I don't understand it. That jump just doesn't make sense. I don't know. Jackson nails it every time. Definitely don't agree with him not making it, but
oh, it's happened before. Don't worry about it. So this area has a really interesting gimmick to it, where over time these poison clouds will spawn in, and you need to eat this little mushroom critter in order to give yourself poison immunity. So there will be times where you see Cave just go for a random mushroom. That's just to give himself this invulnerability window. And we also have these enemies right here. The way that we enter this area and the way that we go through actually lets us skip a lot of rooms in Moridono's domain. It's pretty nice. And then we can just one-shot all of these guys pretty straightforwardly. Nice.
I got this in practice and it was so sick.
Oh.
Clean.
So again,
the bigger cannon gets piercing, so we were able to pierce through all 3.
Beautiful.
That was sick. All right, we're going to be coming up on Moridono soon. So we're going to opt to skip this checkpoint here because it'll let us warp to the start of Moridono's domain after we clear the fight. So the way that this fight works is a bit different from some of the others. There are going to be these different nodes that are on each of these different phases. This one's Mo. And we need to just clear all of these with individual bullet hits. So we got through that first phase here pretty quick. We've got 2 rounds here per different transformation that he's got. And we have a couple of different build changes here. We equipped Roof Snail because whenever we take damage, it gives us a little bit of extra mana. We want a lot of mana for this fight because it allows us to cast beans, and the beans will allow us to home in on individual different pieces that need to be shot at on the monster's body. So that was a good first part of that phase. Like checking through the notes just to make sure. Cave has really, really good notes on this game, but it's just like this game has so much like bosses to it that it's just like, bruh.
Yeah, thank you.
So the game completely robbed you there on that last node.
Bizarre. Yeah, it's all good though. Ceiling fan.
The ceiling fan.
Yeah, so basically the way that Cave is handling a lot of these fights is making sure that he casts his being spell early so that he gets the refill off of all of these nodes like by the time the phase is over. So that way he enters each phase with a fresh set of mana, which is really important for this phase because this boss can start running away on you, and it's really annoying to deal with. All right, this is the tricky one. We also made sure to unupgrade the shotgun temporarily for this fight, just because of that extra spread. It means that we get extra bullets, and it's a bit easier to deal with in certain phases, but even still, we use the shotgun a lot here. Then we're just gonna go ahead and tank this laser, and that's gonna be a Moridono. That was a really damn good Moridono.
That might be my best Moridono ever.
I think I mentioned this
from here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and then we also got charge shot. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, that'll be important later. It's also worth mentioning that we equipped something called Jungle Snack, so that every time we casted beans, we get like a little bit, we get another extra projectile when we cast beans, which is just a little bit helpful for having another projectile to track onto some of those nodules. But now we're going to be doing some movement through Ridge here that is a little bit scary. It's a little bit less scary because we have an extra hurt container in this route. But there are going to be these like bats that are going to chase after us, and they are super obnoxious. They make like the worst sound ever.
Who was this? Was this your doing, Ben?
Yeah, that's my voice. Yeah, no, these guys still to this day when I'm walking around this area kill me as well, so.
We're going to take it a little bit safe here, and then the Mantis is going to keep some of those enemies off of us. We're going to take the save, and we're going to go ahead and kill the ones that remain. For some
Did I put ammo bug on instead of mana?
Yeah, I think you did.
I did. That's crazy. Okay, then this one I also have a very unique build. I want to say it's that. It's magnet, fogfly, mushroom, riverfish. But not do fogfly. Wait, what am I missing?
Yeah, no mushroom. No.
I definitely do mushroom though. Mushroom is clean. Magnet, fogfly, mushroom. Oh, I do. Okay. Actually, I hate that. I'm gonna put this one. Oh, did I not get enough mana? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're actually gonna go ahead and warp back to the hub world or the city in order to get a roof snail, because we want to make sure that we can cast a mush bomb for a very silly cheese strat on this boss coming up, Uskandor. So this fight is different depending on like whether you've done Timble before this fight or not. And so if you've defeated Timble, wait, you should actually see if you can go talk to Super real quick and see if he'll give you the gun or not.
Oh, is he here?
He might be, yeah.
He might be, you know.
Yeah, suppo.
Oh, no. Oh, there's a gun.
Oh, this guy. Give it.
Oh, you need 500.
Oh my gosh.
Hate this guy for real.
Suppo, you are.
Soft logs.
But we could get it eventually. It's the fun thing.
I mean, I'm probably not going to spend time to go back and get it.
Yeah.
But it's a thought that counts. So here's Uskandor. They're asking us to clean up some bugs. They're kind of afraid of them, so we're going to come in here and help them out. And there's certainly no ulterior motives for entrapping us inside of their home. This is where Bushrock sometimes can help too. The bugs can be in awkward places. Don't point at it.
Roughly.
I'm about to move my FOV back a bunch.
Oh, corner.
Oh, this one?
Maybe other corner? I saw it.
Oh, there's one. Okay.
There's one.
Not the one. Oh, there's another one.
Oh, there we go.
There's the last one. And the last one's over here somewhere. Oh, thank you.
And so while the dialogue box has popped up, he is going to do another mush bomb bounce, where he's going to wait to activate the dialogue. You should be good. And he's going to get up and onto the wall outside of the arena, which is going to allow him to completely like avoid having to actually play fair, which is very funny. And because we also saved Supo's going to come in later into this fight and help us with some DPS, I believe.
And there. Oh, it said Zoto. What's good, Ben?
What?
Oh. Why does it say Zoto?
That's crazy.
I've never seen that either. That's so funny.
I've never seen that either. I don't know what happened. Did I?
So Ben, do you want to like talk a little bit about how like the mana regen works in this fight and how the bosses interact?
Yeah, it's fun. There's basically two bosses, and if they hit each other, they yell at each other and drop some mana. So you're playing this fight trying to dodge them, but also, you know, you want them to hit each other, which is kind of fun. Ooh, that almost hit you.
I'm trying to save up for Mushroom to show Mushroom stat. Okay, I'm not gonna save up for Mushroom. I'm just gonna heal. The reason I equip Mushroom, it makes your spells do more damage. And this is like the one fight I actually use Mush Bomb as like an attack spell, because you can hit both of them. And then with the Mushroom bonus, you can like really pile on damage to the two of them. But unfortunately, can't quite get them to hit each other.
Yeah, we also unlocked a shotgun upgrade called the Charge Shot, so we can hold down our left click for a charged attack and deal like double damage. It's pretty bananas how much like damage this does. Again, this also scales with Fogfly, so we get a lot of damage that way. Dave is also making sure to split his damage output pretty evenly between both.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Boom. So we get a bunch of healing there, as well as a ton of damage right there. And then Cave is also going to be looking for an opportunity to try to hit both with the piercing shot, but it's pretty tricky. He wants both bosses to die around the same time, so that he can keep getting fed resources. Ooh, this is a little dicey. He's going to play a little bit back here just to be safe.
Peppo, help. Or Zodo, I guess.
Maybe that was when the language patch came in. Oh, they're
Oh yeah,
so
I forgot
close.
about that. Yeah, they're both really close to dying. This is also a big reason we want... So he's going to get really sad, and then he dies. Nice.
Everyone say thank you, Suppo.
Thank you, Suppo.
Who's next, Cave?
Next we got Zithida. Magnet, Mushfrog, Frog, Fogfly, Dragonfly. Do I not do Magnet? What did I... Okay, anyways.
Do you bridge frog any of these, or?
No, the only one I've really considered Bitch Frog. You guys can talk about what Bitch Frog is in general.
Yeah.
I've considered it for Uskindord, but you can see there I would have lost immediately if I had Uskindord. Or if I had Bitch Frog on that fight.
Yeah, so what Bridge Frog does is it forces you to take... It's like Overcharming in Hollow Knight, where it forces you to take double damage, but it gives you an additional 3 slots to use. So you can use that to get something like Leaf Bug and Fogfly, but for safety, we're not going to be doing that. All right, so let's double check our build here, and then we're going to be doing something called Drywood Skip here. We're going to attempt to climb this tree by just kind of scooting up it, and we're going to be making use of these tree branches. Nice, first try. That's really like annoying, in a way to like get that skip to work. So that was really clean.
All right, now what Zithida also on all bosses is another funny one.
Yeah, this fight is really brutal in the no ridge skip category, but in this category, because of like just the explosiveness of our build, we just deal so much damage to this guy. It's pretty incredible. So he has a couple attacks he does. The big gimmick in this fight is that he will form this shell around his weak point that you need to use the tongue grapple that we got from Chroma to get rid of. So you hear that sound effect, that means that the boss has entered its final phase. Oh, you are risking the face right now. So the thing that's really scary about this game is that when you use a spell to heal, it's a delayed proc. Holy crap, what a great fight.
That fight's crazy in all bosses. Good. It's so funny. Alright, now I'm coming up on the scary part of the run.
Yeah, so now we're gonna go equip the bass. We're gonna get that save right here. Are you going for the checkpoint list?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my god. So there's 3 bosses I think that we need to do left. We have 1 boss in the deep, and then 2 bosses in kind of the temple yard area. Yep. So we're gonna take care of Krogar first. Krogar is one of the scariest bosses in the entire game, point blank period.
Facts.
It's not even remotely close. This boss ruins lives. It's also a nice reason that we only need to do a couple of ridge bosses to unlock the end of the game if we're like playing this casually, because it'd be brutality otherwise, frankly.
Whoopsies. This is a fight that's really good with the Gatling gun. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Suppo's been holding out on us, so we go on without.
He's just trying to double charge you. He needs some money.
Suppo should be happy he's still alive. He shouldn't have even made it past the annoy, if it's up to me, But
So, Cave, are you mostly using the machine gun because you're just trying to save your shotgun here?
I'm using a little bit of everything. I honestly haven't routed out this lockdown too much, so I'm just trying to use whatever feels good. Gotcha. I think this one Finisher makes sense to me because it does damage to like multiple. Yeah. And then some machine gun I'm using just because it seems like you can just keep shooting it, but low key shotgun does feel good. But like you said, I do kind of want to conserve that ammo for the boss coming up. Gatling definitely is the move. I'm now realizing doing this without Gatling for the first time.
Yeah. Because because the Gatling I believe pierces, right? So. Or does
I don't know if the
I think the base doesn't,
version.
but the upgrade ones do.
Excuse me. There we go.
And here I might take it a little slow going up just to try to conserve some health, but there's also stuff following me, so I'm actually just gonna send it. Oh. Sending it has gone wrong so far? Nah, it's fine. Just 2 damage is okay. So that's where, we can't checkpoint, but if we take that checkpoint, then we're going to have to go all the way back out. So we're going to try to do it without it one time. If we fail, then we'll take the checkpoint for the next one.
All right, welcome to Krogar. So the first phase of this fight is going to be this anglerfish guy where he can control these different pieces of coral, I believe, with magnetism. He has a lot of HP. His attacks are pretty difficult to dodge as well.
Is it coral? Has it always been coral?
I think they're urchins.
Oh, urchins is probably the word I'm looking for here.
Oh, I love when they just spin around him instead of actually hitting.
Yeah.
I think they did at the end. Well, we'll pretend.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's a really dangerous charge attack to try to dodge. And he's going to bring in all these urchins and create like walls of them to send at you. Really, really scary phase.
Out of all the bosses, this is probably like your nemesis cave, right?
Yeah.
Yes, this and also when I originally played against Chroma. Ben was actually in my stream when I was first playing the game, and I was fighting Chroma and just could not beat it. And I was like, I don't understand what's going on.
All right, that's phase 1.
And Ben's like, try painting it. Like I was just trying to I was shooting at points I already shot at, but this one is definitely my other nemesis. But we're set up pretty good here, honestly.
Yeah, so this takes us into Krogar and the Scavengers. So a bunch of these scavenger enemies will go ahead and re-inhabit Krogar's body and take him over, which is really scary to deal with because there's a bunch of different attacks and multiple enemies you have to worry about in one phase.
And just for the record, this is the part that I'm actually afraid of in the boss fight. The first part, when it's just what is the name of the main fish?
Krogar.
Krogar? Yeah, when it's just Krogar, that part's fine. This is the scary part of the fight to me, but so far so good.
Yeah, it's really easy to just get kind of cornered.
Here, I try to deal with this guy first because I straight up have no clue how to dodge that attack. This is going really okay. Wow.
Generally, the smaller enemy. Wow, that was insanely good.
That rocks. That rocked.
All right, so now we're going to kind of swap back to our bread and butter, which is the Fogfly Leaf Bug combo.
And that should be our last bug swap of the run as well. I'm pretty sure we rock this the rest of the run.
Absolutely. So now we're coming up on actually a new skip that I found not too long ago called Quarry Skip. So this is going to be like the last pretty major lag clip of the run, but also might be the most finicky. We're going to go to 30 FPS here to lag. It just causes collision to act funkier. We're going to try to dash at a specific... Wow, okay.
That was cool.
I'll just set up then. Sure, all right.
Jackson, it's just not that hard, dude.
Come on, man.
R.I.P. my favorite level.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Quarry. Oh, Quarry is cool with all the mirror stuff. Yeah, but also it's scary. That actually, I jump scare so hard in the Quarry.
No, they're scary.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and take care of this rat over here because we're going to do another sequence break here where we just dash through this wall at low frame rate. And now we can just go ahead and uncap our frame rate. And are you even going to open the door?
I should. I trust myself. Look, I'm going to be fine, but just in case.
You know.
I'm not going to die or anything, but... So you can see in the mirrors, you can see the enemies, but you can't see them there. That's kind of the gimmick of this area. But we skipped the scary part of it. All right, and now we're on to Lazaro, who, if you were paying attention during Long Beast, you may actually recognize him.
That's so much shotgun ammo.
Yeah, that was really nice of him.
Yeah, so with headshots, with the charged shotgun, as well as fog. Oh, and a leaf bug.
Yeah, pop it
We
off.
might already be in the next phase.
I would love to get some ammo for the wood cannon, but can't be, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, still no wood cannon ammo, but it's fine. I actually don't want wood cannon ammo. Maybe just have to neg the game a little bit.
All right, so that means we're going into phase 2, meaning that we've hit a specific damage threshold, and then once we see like the blood trails kind of like on the boss's body, I think we just saw it right there. Now we're going to be kind of making our way onto the next phase. So this boss is like charging body attacks all do like double damage. It's really scary to deal with. But now he's going to be on the ceiling, and we're just going to stay underneath him so that his like projectile attack doesn't bother us all that much, and we're just going to keep shooting him in the head like all the other bosses. Excellent, Lazaro. That was textbook. Awesome job.
Oh, I don't know why I jumped like that. It's fine though.
And now we've got another boss right over here. This is Door Crab coming up here. Eat the crab so it doesn't take care of us in the bad way. Door Crab is a really cool boss because it has all these phases that are references to previous fights. So I forget which one that one's named after.
That's Limbs. Yeah.
Limbs, that's right.
This fight's also really cool in this category because in like any percent, you have like zero context to like most of these.
Or no ridge skip specifically.
No ridge skip especially, you have no context.
Yeah, like you're showing the speedrun and it's like, wait, you fought one of these bosses.
Alright, so Kate's gonna switch to the flamethrower
like that's Decula right there, which you don't see that in 80%, obviously.
And switching over to the flamethrower allows you to get through that phase a little bit faster, which is really, really nice.
Jeez.
You got some wood cannon too, nice.
Yeah, very nice of them to get wood cannon ammo. This placeholder. Maybe I placeholder from the beginning.
Which in some ways is easier to dodge, but in some ways is harder to dodge. It's just kind of funky sometimes with the hitboxes. And that should be the end of the boss. That entire temple yard was like masterclass. That was so good.
Yeah, that went extremely well. Unfortunately,
Where are we heading next?
Next I think we're going to Myzant.
Yep. So we've taken care of all of like the main bosses, optional bosses too. So now we're gonna make our way through the door that we've unlocked. It's worth noting that you can actually skip fighting like 6 bosses by doing something called ridge skip, where during the cutscene that plays after the Rooney fight, you can like go ahead and just like wedge yourself between the door and another piece of collision, and it just lets you squeeze right through. But that's not really worth doing in this category. And it's also caused a category split for any percent as well, just because it so radically changes the way the category works.
Yeah, and it's worth having another category because it's still fun to do like the ridge bosses, so it's like it does feel worth it to have that category.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no ridge skip is such a hard category just because you have so few resources.
Yeah.
And it's like you just have to fight for your life. Uzka Dord in particular are really rough in that category. But yeah, this is
20-minute difference, right?
It's it's like 20 minutes. And so now we're on our way to the final 2 bosses of the run, Myzant 1 and Myzant 2. And so Myzant's Forest, the way it works is it's just a bunch of these combat encounters back to back to back that are all pretty scary, and there's no checkpoints. So if you die in one of them, you got to do them all over again. So luckily, we are so overgeared and have such good setups that we don't need to worry too much.
Yeah, and especially coming from like any percent into like this category is like silly.
Yeah, so we got a leaf bug proc right there, which is just disgusting amounts of damage. Oh my god.
Yeah, leaf bug is going absolutely crazy this fight. Wow.
You didn't even realize you were.
My brain didn't even process that section was done.
Forward, what?
So you can see there, like, my beans just locking onto random stuff. And you get so much mana in this section that you can kind of just spam beans.
It's pretty great, yeah.
I would say the one downside of the charge shotgun, it saves so much time with the bosses, but you do lose like a little time here just because like you only get one shot per clip instead of two.
Yeah.
But it's like ultimately like way worth it.
Oh, we got the double hit?
I think I actually missed though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think one of them was still alive.
Because they normally, that would definitely almost assuredly kill otherwise.
Yeah, I think so.
Is you gotta be really careful with that bull enemy because his attacks do double damage. But once you take care of those two bulls that spawn, you can kind of just kite the enemies here and you're good to go.
Making really good progress through forest. You also, ammo flies, their passive is I just fully max out the ammo clip of whatever gun I'm holding, so you'll have to see me switch quickly to wood cannon or shotgun before grabbing those, just because those are definitely the two most important pieces of ammo.
Dude, that guy went flying. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy ragdoll physics.
I just want to remind everyone, by the way, that if this game like looks super sick, please again consider getting it. This was pretty much made by Ben himself with some help from a friend with the music. So like, support indie devs. Like this stuff is so cool, and you wouldn't find it anywhere else. So I hope we've at least convinced you to play this game. Is like, holy crap, this game is so good.
Yeah. And I skipped a lot of like cool stuff. Like there's a lot more spells than just beans. it's a lot more intricate than just spamming beans and mush frog.
Yeah, and there's some post-game content that we won't be seeing as well. So there's even more of this game to discover, and we really hope you give this game a try because it rules. Like I said at the start of this run, it ruined my life in April. I have like 200 something hours in this game. It's kind of yikes, but you know, good games have that effect on people.
Am I missing an enemy or?
No, you're good.
Oh.
I think you're ready to go to the next thing, maybe.
Oh, there it is. I can never find that one. That's so annoying.
It's a little dark. You can blame me on that one.
Yeah, I'm blaming you for as much as I can, I think. All right, so yeah, now we're coming to Myzand 1.
All right, so Myzand 1 is kind of like a boss that transforms into all of the different ridge bosses we've been seeing over the start of the run. We start off with Krogar and the Scavengers here, which honestly we kind of don't mind seeing right at the start, because this is probably the scariest individual phase of the fight. But this guy has a lot of HP and a lot of really hard to avoid attacks. And so now we're going into the second phase where he splits into multiple different Scavengers. That's the middle of the boss taken care of. We're gonna go for the eyeballs. Now the guy that's chasing us around, that's a pair of legs, isn't really that big of a deal. We really aren't all that concerned with him. We got a double proc there on the rocket launcher, which is really funny.
The legs is trying his best.
And make sure you reload your wood cannon. Oh, you don't. Yeah, you're okay. You're good. All right, so this is a Zythetter rerun. So you make sure to have at least Mush Frog, because Mush Frog's main ability is to auto target onto things you can use your tongue on.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting mixed up. We're good though. That should be it. Nope, one more.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Love Barge.
Yeah, so Barge in this area is a vertical platforming segment instead of horizontal, which makes this part really cool. Excuse me. There's only 2 nodules that you have to hit in this section.
Actually, I have a question about that then. Do you actually have to hit those, Ben? I feel like I miss them half the time.
Oh no, they just are like a free heal. But you don't actually have to hit them in this section.
Interesting.
You used to have to, but the pacing got kind of weird. But I think it feels better like this.
Yeah, because okay, there's one.
It was super fun to have all these random like ridge boss designs that are all so different, and then like design this fight where they all kind of come together.
All right, so we have Uskendord again. This is another really scary fight. It's a little bit easier because we don't have the walls enclosing us, but their attacks are faster and their hitboxes are still pretty scary. So we gotta be really careful here. Cave is gonna try to line up. Again, some of our ammo is piercing, especially with this wood cannon. So we're gonna try to line it up the best that we can to get double hits. So because each of those two have individual health bars that we gotta worry about here. Oh, worth mentioning as well, if you die on any one of these phases, you have to do the whole boss fight all over again. So this fight's really dang hard. I just thought I should point that out. And again, we can make use of the same thing where if you get the bosses to attack each other, then it can get you some free mana, which is really helpful. And that's going to be the end of that phase. And
I think we have 2 more left. We have this one, and we have Borodona.
Yeah. So this is actually the phase we really wanted to see right now. Cave is also going to be making sure to end this fight with enough mana to cast Beans once, because it's similar to how Moridono worked earlier. We need to hit nodules on the body of the boss in order to deal damage and clear the phase. Oh my goodness, that just skipped a phase. That was such a good shotgun shot.
I did that way too early. I kind of threw, not gonna lie.
You're good.
Oh, he might have it.
Oh, it's fun. Alright, we're just using him to land, and then we're out of here.
Yeah, so that was really well done. That was all first try. And key point as well is that Cave was able to finish the fight with a full mana bar, which is going to be really nice going into the final boss.
Crap.
Oh, I forgot about him. I forgot about him.
I was waiting for it.
I was so sure I was done. That is the ops. Crazy.
This one freaks me out a little bit.
This guy was also infamous as well because he used to cause like a lot of soft locks as well.
Yeah, sorry about that. I fixed it pretty quick though.
Yeah, thankfully.
There we go. Nice job.
Now we're just waiting on Myzan to make his way through here, and we're gonna head on over to the final Myzan fight. So there's gonna be one ammo fly that we can make use of.
I think I might save and quit, actually.
I think you get better value here if you save and quit.
I don't have any mana, so there's no reason to.
So whenever you save and quit, it resets you to 0 mana and a default selection of weapon ammo.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go ahead and grab another piece of wood cannon ammo just because it's the highest value thing we can get with the ammo fly right there. Now we're going on to Myzan 2, so we're actually fighting Myzan legit this time. And so we're gonna start off with a wood cannon shot just like that. He always starts with some sort of gap closer or ranged or close range attack. And then we're gonna go ahead and swap over to a ranged attack, and he's gonna do this gap closer. We're gonna dash over it. We're gonna make sure to try to collect this ammo whenever possible here. And now we're gonna do a really cool strat where we can make use of beans and hopefully loop this boss in this kind of attack over and over again here.
You can loop it and do that in one phase?
Yes, it's possible.
Oh, I need to learn that.
It's pretty tough though. So. All right, so now we're going into this phase. And again, Cave is kind of aiming a little more up, so as many of those pellets go into the boss's face as possible. Keep getting this attack again, which is really dangerous.
All right, cool.
All right, there we go.
There's one.
So we're gonna go ahead
and ammo. Got a lot of wood cannon.
Excuse me.
Man, situation's a little brutal, but.
All right, and so we start off with this attack. So Cave is going to be jumping and dashing from left to right, making use of the bow here in order to get crit shots. This phase is really... Oh, that's really unlucky.
Yeah, I have a good, you can get a good flow of it if you go back and forth. I got a little too lost in the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
We'll run it back, though.
Yeah, so we have to do both phases over again, but we're so early into the second phase that it really doesn't matter too much.
This is the final fight, so... Oops. Forgot there was no dialogue there.
So this is the ranged attack that you did both of those miss?
One hit.
Surely at least one, yeah.
Yeah, the one on the left did.
Nice, you got a leaf bug drop there.
I've seen
really
way too
good.
much of this game, and like visually, I feel like I just like I don't know.
Yeah, so see, now he's going into his next phase because we managed to hit the death or the damage threshold. So if you do this fight with like and get like really good damage rolls, and also like
I think I'm already in phase 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow, that was quick.
That's a little crazy. Back in phase 2 with the same health situation though, so.
But there will be a soul frog that we can eat here as well for an extra piece of health.
Oh!
Baited. So we're gonna take this super safe here, just making use of the machine gun and dashing from left to right. There we go. And we're gonna dash up. Not quite.
Oh.
Saved it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm cooked. I don't ever dodge this.
We're good. Ah.
That attack's tough. Alright.
You got this, dude.
This is the one. I just want to showcase more of his attacks. I didn't want to be
Exactly.
I want to make sure all of Ben's work is being showcased.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, for once we're actually playing the majority of your game.
This is a big change up.
The key is just to not take so much damage in this phase. Has been my issue thus far.
Alright, so we got a big leaf bug crit there, so that's gonna give us a lot of damage here.
Alright, going in with health and the refresher on health should be money. Let's see if I can get another cannonball. Should be good on ammo too. Alright. I feel good about this one.
Oh, we're at 4 HP as well. Nice.
Yeah, I was just joking the first 2 times.
Double? Oh, but one of them missed. Tragic.
Yeah, it's a little hard from far away because they do have a little bit of a split on. Oh no!
Oh my god, I'm throwing. Oh, it. Okay. I don't know why. I'm like thinking too much on the grab attack. I don't know if I've ever actually gotten a grab. Well, I have, but. Alrighty. This one for sure.
Yeah, if you can't already tell, even though Kay's been nailing most of the bosses, this game's really, really hard. So it's like... Yeah. Alright, so there's first phase. But phase 1. You know what's bad when phases have phases?
Oh, didn't get that time. I think I'm out of there.
Yeah.
All right, more health this time. A little less ammo.
We got this.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why that was such an issue for the last 2 attempts.
Alright, so now we get this attack. So there's a bunch of different attacks he does, and he is required to do at least one of each before he can pick like the same attack a second time. So now he's gonna stomp on us, which is what we want. We dash out of the way at the very last moment. That's a great attack to get.
What is this attack meant to do, Ben? Genuine question.
He pushes you. If you jump up in the air or like are close to an edge, he will knock you off. But definitely not as scary as some of the other attacks for sure.
This is a great attack to get.
I have like no good ammo. Oh, right.
Oh, and we're in the last phase. Okay.
Nice. Okay, we're good then.
All right. So with the charged shotgun, we can just kill each of these in one hit. And we should be good to go here.
Oh, Bo was selling me.
Yes,
Already.
Nicely done. Nicely done. That was a great last phase. So he's going to spit out the key here. And Melora's going to come here and rescue us. And we are at the end of the game now. Yeah.
Time is going to come up when we see the credits. So it's going to be just like some text we go through. Story-wise, Rooney's like a henchman of Mizent. We beat Rooney. Mizent's like, you're useless. I'm going to go put you in a cage. Rooney and Melora are siblings, so Melora, being the kind soul she is like, hey, let's help him.
Let's not do that.
Yeah. So now Mizent's in the cage. Okay, and time is coming up very soon. And time. So that's Frogmonster.
Jeez.
Stumbled a bit at the end there. What was I don't know. What's
like
how much time are we looking at, Kitty? 144. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's gonna catch up in a little bit, but yeah, we're looking at about like 145. 12 looks like.
Yeah, and then this will be like a little lower just because there's an in-game timer that Ben coded in for us. So, and we also have an auto splitter, so it's probably like around that. Maybe just like a little faster with the save and quits. But yeah, that was Frogmonster. Appreciate Cutie having me on again. I stream. I'm sure the link has popped up on the tracker or whatever. I do this, Returnal, a couple other things. And I stream on occasion. My schedule's really rough. Jaxler and Ben, if you guys want to do any shout outs.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and shout out the Frogmonster community. We have a community Discord as well. If you go to speedrun.com/Frogmonster, you can find us there. There's a lot of good guides and resources. If you want some route notes, I think Cave has put his route notes up there as well for this category, as well as for the other two main categories that are any percent and no ridge skip. So be sure to check those out. If you're interested in more runners to follow, I also run this game, twitch.tv/Jaxer1. Ben, if you got anything you want to shout out, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out this game. It's been a joy to make. It's been so fun to interact with the speedrunning community and the rest of the Discord. And check it out if you have a time. It's on Steam for I think $20 right now. So yeah, go check it out and support me.
Worth noting, also the guides are also on the speedrun.com page. If you don't feel comfortable joining the Discord for whatever reason, and you still want to try speedrun the game out.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much, all three of you, for showcasing this. This is the first time I've seen, I won't say all of the game, but most of the game. And I have to say it is utterly fascinating, creative, and original. So this is why we have indie developers. It's so great to see one that's active and available in the scene. So definitely, if you're interested, check this game out. So thankful to have all three of you. But we're not done. Perilous Paths continues. We have another great run coming up by Illegally Sam, who's going to be doing Rebel Transmute. So we're going to take a quick break while we get set up for that. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Perilous Paths here on GDQ Hotfix. If you're just joining us or if you're new to the show, we focus on Soulslikes, Roguelikes, and Metroidvanias. We just saw what can only be described as an incredible run of Frogmonster, let's be real, but we're not done yet. We've got more to come. So we have Illegally Sam running Rebel Transmute and his wonderful commentator, Snapkick, joining us today. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. I've got that post-AGDQ vibes going.
I'm doing well. I don't have that post-AGDQ vibes going.
Awesome. Well, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourselves, a little bit about the game, what we can expect to see, and then we'll get into it.
Sounds good. So yeah, this is Rebel Transmute. This is an indie Metroidvania that came out March of last year. I've been running it pretty much since it came out because we both backed it on Kickstarter back in 2022. That was when we both first heard about it and, been on our radar. And then when it finally came out, here we are, we're running it.
Yep, exactly. We both backed it. When the game was first put on the Kickstarter, there is a demo out that we both did a bit of a speedrun competition for, held by the devs. So I won that because Sam only had time for 1 or 2 runs, thank God. And yeah, there's credits at the end of the game that have us listed for the any percent run, which is pretty cool. I am the admin for the game on speedrun.com. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. And for the viewers out there, you might be sensing just a little bit of a indie theme or indie flavor today. But with that, go ahead and give us a little bit of countdown. Let's get into it.
All right. Time will start when I clear this autosave text box. So I'll give a countdown. We can get started. So let's get going.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
1.
Go.
Go.
They got the countdown in stereo. Whoops. All right, so skip the intro cutscenes, you know, like any good speedrun, and let's just start schmooving right away.
And schmoove we shall. This game starts you with some of the best movement right from the get-go. This is a very Metroid-esque Metroidvania, as you can probably tell with your eyeballs. You start with a dash on the ground, sort of like a Mega Man X slide dash, and you can chain the speed you get from that into a jump. So right there, we have bread and butter movement, and it feels very good.
Yeah, exactly. So when I say we're schmooving right away, I'm not kidding, because unlike, some Metroidvanias, you start out with basically no movement options. This game, we got the slide right away, so right away, we're just trying to go as fast as physically possible.
Exactly.
Also, right there at the beginning, I picked up the first augment of the run. That was back in the first room. Augments are one of this game's types of upgrades, kind of like the charms in Hollow Knight, where you have a limited amount of slots, and you can equip augments to just do different things depending on what augment it is. That first augment I picked up is called the Blood Extractor. For what it does is it lets you get extra spark blood when you hit enemies. So spark blood is that little meter underneath my health bar at the top left, and when the bar is full, it lets me heal. And so normally when I don't have that augment equipped, I have to hit enemies 6 times to fill it up all the way. But with Spark Blood Extractor, it only takes 4. So it's one of those things where, it doesn't really make anything faster, it just makes everything a little bit safer.
Exactly, and with some upgrades we get later, it will make it our health regen even faster, and it does help a good chunk for at least 1 or 2 bosses in particular. We're walking into the first combat room here. So there's a couple of rooms like this in the game where you hit the big blob thing in the center and pop it, and that makes these enemies spawn. So it's just a bit of a wave clear room to progress, and that's sort of your basic combat right there. Our main weapon is that little mining laser. It's short range burst weapon that when you hit an enemy, it generally knocks both of you back a little bit. So in a sense, you can use it to pogo, but also on the ground, it becomes its own sort of spacing tool.
Yeah, exactly. Combat in this game definitely takes some getting used to because of the whole, everything gets knocked back, including you kind of thing. But once you get used to it, it's a lot more intuitive than it might seem at first.
And it's interesting to mention that as well. So Sam here is playing on the Xbox, which currently is actually behind a major patch that just came out on PC, which did a pretty decent overhaul to a handful of basic mechanics of the game, added some different enemies, changed some platforming rooms, updated some bosses, and one of the notable things was they did add a more long-ranged weapon, and they also added a augment that turns off that knockback for people who don't like it, but it is a really awesome update. But for now, we're going to get to see the game as it was, which is still a really cool speed run, and for the best, because we haven't had time to route the new update.
Yeah, I was kind of at AGDQ when it came out, so 3, 4.
All right, I'm going to explain this while Sam is going. So this is the first boss of the game. This boss was in the demo to begin with, and a bug that I ended up finding carried over into the base game. Sam's going to count out to about 32 hits on the boss. After 32 hits, the boss goes into a second phase where he'll fly up to the center of the room and start spitting out gunk balls everywhere, and it becomes generally a little harder. However, what if we were to just get the boss down to about second phase health and hope it plays along like this, jumps in the bottom corner, and stuck. There we go. That's it. That's the entire first phase. By getting it stuck down the corner there on phase transition, it just stays there the rest of the time. Easy game.
Yeah,
There we go. First boss down.
as funny as that trick is, it doesn't save as much time as you might think. If you get that trick quickly, it saves maybe like 10 or 15 seconds, but the main thing is it just makes the second phase way easier, because the second phase just has like way more projectiles all over the place, some new attacks from the boss and all that. And by doing that, no, he doesn't. He doesn't have any of that anymore.
Exactly, yeah. There is the circumstance in which like the boss just doesn't hop into the corner for you in a while, in which case it's not necessarily faster, but it can be faster and it will be easier. So it's a very nice combination. This game has a lot of little cool strats like that end up becoming trade-offs for both speed and comfort that make it a really cool game for players to route differently from each other.
Yeah, and most importantly, that trick is funny.
Exactly. That's the real value right there. So after that boss, Sam picked up his first transmutation, which are like the permanent upgrades we get. It let us break those little purple blocks, which is basically just blocking off the rest of the game. And now we're coming up to the first major skip of the game. This is Quarry Skip. Sam's going to jump, and by holding down left into that corner, very well done by the way, as he is falling down and sliding, it gave him a massive boost of speed forward. We're not meant to be able to get over that little pond he just went over. That's not normally meant to happen. This is like the back route out of the level. So we just skipped going through the entire section, and we can move straight on into the first boss. Or second boss, same thing.
Yeah, fun thing about that trick, it doesn't work with analog stick. It only works with D-pad and keyboard. So if you try and do that trick with the analog stick, it just does not work. So I have to switch specifically to D-pad only for that trick. It's the only time I use D-pad in the run.
Which is crazy to me. I don't know how people play 2D games like this without the D-pad.
With a greater degree of movement.
Listen. I need easy inputs. Speaking of easy, the second boss, Carapace. This is, no major tricks here, but this boss is just a really nice boss to learn the strats of, learn the moves, and we dump damage out. The main thing here is just to keep hitting the boss, because if you put enough damage in, it goes to a rage phase, and as it goes into the rage phase, its moves actually become easier and more predictable.
Yeah, when he's in his normal attack phase, he has like 2 or 3 attacks that he can pick from randomly, as well as just jumping around a whole bunch. Those attacks are not actually super easy to dodge, but in Rage, he has literally 1 attack and that's it.
Exactly.
And that attack is very easy to dodge when you know it's the only attack he has. And so by just chaining all that together, he stays enraged and makes it a very easy fight.
It's a very nice fight in the run because it's nothing like, you're not breaking it necessarily. It's not trivializing the fight. It's taking the fight on at a professional level, and it feels really good to get good at.
Yeah, it's basically you do enough damage to make the fight easy. And now we have an air dash. It's an air dash. Now we can dash in the air.
Dash. We love air dashing in the air, as it were. Nothing super crazy about this one, but it does interact interestingly with a mechanic we've seen a few times. If you fall for more than 5-6 feet, whatever, you start going into a long fall animation, and when you land, you get a bit of landing lag. So if you dash just before you land, you can cancel out that landing lag. Of note, the major update that's currently on PC actually majorly reduces that landing lag. It's still there a bit, but it does majorly reduce it. So this tech is still useful, but not quite as much.
There's also an extra little bonus tech where if you were to slide or fire your blaster the exact moment you land, you can actually cancel that lag entirely without needing the air dash. But I don't know if it's frame perfect or close to it, but it's very, very precise. So it's more of just a bonus thing that I always go for rather than something I actually get super often.
Yeah, I've only ever pulled it off a handful of times personally, and it's never on purpose.
Yeah, I can usually get it a couple times per run, but it's very inconsistent. All right.
So Sam just there a moment ago picked up a battery. Batteries let us equip more augments. It's more similar to sort of Nier Automata in that instead of being one charm is 1 or 2 notches, it's more one augment is 1.5 notches. So batteries add 1 to that count. generally just lets us equip more, and we'll need that for some stuff later. Sam also grabbed a save point there just a moment ago, which we will be using as a travel point. So one of the things the new update added was they have a resource you can get from specific secret bosses that let you teleport to save points directly, which normally you cannot do. However, we have a method of doing that regardless.
It's called dying.
It's called dying, and we will make tremendous use of it sometime soon here.
Yeah. Something else to note about the augment system is similar to Nier Automata. We start out with like a collection of basic augments that take up one full slot combined, and each of them take up 0.25 slots each. And those augments, like I said, are very basic mechanics, where one of them is your HUD, one of them is your ability to heal, one of them is like the GPS on the map, and one of them is how the death mechanic works. So how dying works, in addition to, respawning you at the last station that you just used, it also, if you have that specific augment equipped, you don't lose any money or anything. Instead, what happens is you lose a health core. And that health core drops down where you died, and you have to go back and pick it up, and until you do, you have less maximum health. But if you unequip
Alternatively,
it...
you can also pay about 50 money to pick it back up at a save point.
Or 35 in the new update.
True.
But more importantly, if you unequip it, you instead lose half of your money on death. And because of something that I will be buying later for 150 red flux, I don't want to lose my money yet. So for now, I will be dealing with losing my health cores on death, but that will change in about 10-15 minutes. And I will obviously talk about that more as it happens.
For now, we're going to move through this big wind tunnel rune. A bit tricky to move through, but it's fine. The nice thing about those big sacks you see there is as you hit them, they fully fill your health gauge. Because we're going to be moving into the third boss. Get ready for some exciting gameplay, folks. Who likes pogo hopping?
Yeah, so you guys play Shovel Knight? You played
Hey guys,
Hollow
have you heard
Knight?
of this cool game called DuckTales? You might not have heard of it.
DuckTales is the first game I ever speedran.
Really?
The NES. There's a glitch on the moon where you glitch through a door. It was easy enough I could do it. So first speedrun I ever did.
That's a sick first run, not gonna lie.
You're already halfway through this boss in that case.
Exactly. So yeah, first phase is just the cocoon, and then the sniper moth comes out, called as such because it shoots those big sniper laser beams around. So this boss is just a pretty good DPS check. It goes in cycles based on time. So ideally we're looking for a 2 cycle here, which can be a little tight, but we'll see if Sam can pull it off.
Yeah, I didn't quite get as much damage in that first phase as I would have liked, but it shouldn't matter.
It's fine, you got it. Nice thing is if you fail a 2 cycle, it's very quick to finish a 3 cycle in most cases. It's worth pointing out too, in the update to the game, this boss is essentially completely revised. Good fight.
Yeah. I even damage boost to get that last hit, which not necessary, but it looked way cooler.
It looked cooler, and we're gonna call it faster because we liked it. So we're picking up our third transmutation here. It is a bomb.
Yeah. If you press the button that shoots the bomb, you shoot a bomb.
And you might think, like, wow, bomb. However, bomb has some very fun interactions we'll see in a bit. Speaking of fun interactions, the main menu. Explain that button to us, Sam.
Yeah, if you go and press the start button, you open the main menu. Also, it has a button in that main menu called Force Respawn. It's something that more Metroidvanias should have, honestly, because if you press that button, you just instantly die. Which
you don't have to go seek out damage. You don't have to waste your time.
Like it's useful in a speedrun for obvious reasons because it lets us respawn very quickly, but it's also just very useful in casual play because when this game first came out, it had it was not perfect, had a few soft locks and stuff, and if you ever got soft locked, you could just respawn instantly. You don't actually have to worry about anything. Or if you just don't feel like going back to the last station casually, you can also just do that.
Exactly. It's also a game that really encourages you to mess around with its mechanics, to cheese your way forward in ways you may not think you're supposed to be able to do. And that was definitely something that happened to a lot of people. Are like, wait, am I supposed to be here? And it's like, well, you could get there, and it's cool you could because you were good enough at the game to pull off some little strategies. The bomb is really good in that regard too, because the bomb physically pushes us. And that is something we will be taking advantage of quite a bit as we move on.
Also, those last two sections I kind of did in a way that isn't entirely intended, because those blocks that I made appear out of nowhere, those are supposed to be like the shortcuts back up after you go through the areas normally, because they're blocked off with a block that you can only break using the bomb. But because they're always there, even though they're off screen, you can just hit them off screen and go up those spots early.
Exactly. It's an example of a really nice knowledge check the game gives you, where it's like, if you know it's there, hey, guess what? Going through here a second time, or like on a second playthrough, or in this case, a speed run, it's very fun. Speaking of fun, let's not have that. This is Blob.
Yeah, this is the bloat specimen, one of the more annoying bosses in the run. Because when he's light blue like that, he just bounces around a whole lot and gets knocked back and just is out of range. So this is one of the most important fights when it comes to using the bomb. Because in addition to, blowing up things in the environment, the bomb is also really useful as a damage tool, because it has almost infinite range, at least compared to the blaster. So if he's out of range of my blaster, I'm just shooting bombs at him and nothing else. And it also does about 1.5 times the damage of one of my blaster shots. So because the bomb and the blaster are on two different buttons, I'm just hitting both of them the entire fight.
Exactly. So you can dump out damage, and in this boss, that's extremely important, because if you let it stay outside of its rage phase, it has much more annoying attacks, including going into that light blue phase a lot more, which ping-ponging it around makes it harder to hit. Would you believe it?
Right, but as a reward, we get arguably the most important movement upgrade in the entire game, the bounce. We saw the boss doing it, now we can.
Exactly. I never thought about it like that. That's super true.
Yeah, so the bounce, let's just do this. Whee! So basically, if you hit the left trigger, the way the bounce works is it lets you bounce on enemies, it lets you bounce on the ground, and it lets you bounce on certain background objects that you wouldn't normally be able to interact with. But just bouncing on the ground like that, that's not all that interesting on its own. So we're gonna do something called a super bounce instead. So basically, using the game's forgiveness mechanics, if we press the bounce button and then jump a tiny bit after leaving the ground with the bounce, we instead use those forgiveness mechanics to jump after bouncing and just fly up into the air with an insane amount of height.
It is like the biggest bit of tech in this game, and it is so fun to do because the inputs for it are tricky to figure out. It's definitely something you have to spend time to learn, but once you get it, it's just like riding a bike. It feels natural. You don't forget how to do that. And it goes places too. It's not done just there, because we can combine it with the bomb, as it is the case that the bomb has a intended sort of secret interaction with bouncing. Oh, unlucky thorns. Hate that. Yeah, that was just a little bit of a mess of movement, but thankfully, if something is vertical, we could just do this and go up all the way. So yeah, it is a sort of intended secret mechanic that if you bounce on a bomb, it sends you pretty high, like that is intended. But you can then combine that with a super bounce and all bets are off. You are going to space. Goodbye. Yeah, so as a result, if anything is vertical, we can go there basically whenever we want. And it really opens up all of our movement options. It makes some areas possible to get through that you wouldn't be able to otherwise, makes others faster to get through than they would be otherwise, and just makes moving as a whole a lot more fun. And it was already fun before this was a mechanic, because, fun fact, that actually wasn't a mechanic at launch. After launch, there was a few weeks after launch, there was an update that adjusted the forgiveness mechanics, making them more lenient, and it unintentionally added that into the game. Which, I think the technical term we're looking for there is coyote time, not necessarily forgiveness mechanics, but yeah. Essentially, you have more time in the air that you're allowed to jump with, so we just abused that kindness given to us. Yeah, coyote time is a type of forgiveness mechanic. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, because there's a lot of them, and that's just the most common that you hear people talk about. And so right there, we just used a lot of that same movement to pick up Wave Blaster. Wave Blaster is one of the most important augments for this run because it is a stupidly big DPS increase, and it makes our blast more of a shotgun spread, where each one of the spreads is like an individual slightly lesser hit. So it multiplies our damage quite a bit, it increases our technical range, and each individual hit counts as a fill towards the spark blood meter. So add that with the augment that gives us more spark blood, and then add that with the damage upgrade, which we just bought there.
That's why we've been collecting money the whole time.
Exactly. And that's where we augment. Got that.
Let me actually equip Wave Blaster. I did a practice run yesterday, did the exact same thing, and I caught myself this time.
I still end up doing that all the time, yeah. It's especially important on PC, or at least in the old version, because PC in the older version of the game, you could shoot Wave Blaster through walls in some locations if you knew there was a secret breakable wall on the other side, and you could get in there. You couldn't do that on console, but yeah, down the bottom left of this room was where PC would go to be a little faster, and I've missed that a few times.
Yeah, also, something else that we were busy gushing over bouncing that we kind of glossed over is I also picked up another augment a little while back. It is called Nomadic Compressor. It's your double jump. Double jump in this game is not a normal upgrade. It is an optional augment. But it is actually very, very important for the speedrun, both because it makes movement a lot easier, it makes it a lot safer in some spots, but also it enables very particular tricks and allows us to get through certain areas that we are very much not supposed to.
The main circumstance of that coming up here in just a bit with one of the hardest tricks in the game, which is thankfully still around in the updated version, but made harder due to a bit before it. But we'll see how Sam pulls this off here. It is super cool. For now, we're moving through the mines. We want to avoid that lava, not just because it hurts, but it also acts as a void out. So if we touch it, we get sent back to our last safe location on the ground.
Yeah, I can't think of very many games where you do want to touch lava, to be honest.
They're Super Mario Odyssey, if you have the right creature.
But not if you don't.
Well, yeah, but...
Also, technically, that's like super something anyway. All right.
True, I guess.
All right, this is Mine Skip. This is the part where we pray for good RNG.
Exactly. These little blue jerks are going to teleport around it, and their shots can hit that little switch you see in the bottom left. They can also travel through the walls. Oh my god,
yeah, that was good RNG.
Go, pretty quick. So yeah, it is random where they go. We're now going to explain what's going on here. So, oh my god. He's going to shoot a bomb towards the wall. He's going to dash into the wall, and he's going to use Nomadic Compressor as he lands at it, and then he's going to pause. While the game is paused, the countdown on the bombs we shoot continues to go. So as soon as he unpauses, clean. They continue to count down. As soon as he unpauses, they burst. He uses the little burst from the Nomadic Compressor to fly up, and the bomb pushes him up, making you go through that area backwards. We are now at the end of this section at the boss already. You're meant to use a wall climb to get through there, but you can just move through that, and Sam did that so well. That is not easy to do.
Yeah, it's one of those tricks where it's not that it's ever easy per se, but once you know what you're doing, it definitely gets a lot easier. It's very much the kind of thing where once you understand what the timing actually is and what you're doing, it becomes a lot easier to do it consistently, but it's still very easy to mess up the timing. It is very much not something that I get 100% of the time or anything.
Exactly, and it is a choke point. If you mess that up, and every time you fall down, you lose health. There is a save point relatively close by you can go for safety, but it's not fast at all, so losing that can lose you the run. But in the meantime, we've been doing this boss. It is a big drill. It is a pretty easy boss, especially if you combine it with our damage upgrade in the form of Blaster and Bomb. So there we go, very clean through. It's a little two-phase fight. Nothing crazy to talk about there, just a pretty fun fight.
And I was able to thankfully get through the first phase before he retreated into the lava and started jumping around, because I would have wasted a lot of time.
Exactly. Definitely a run that is, or a fight that is not super hard, but hard to do quickly.
Exactly. So yeah, remember that how we went through that section without wall climb? Now we have it. That was meant to be the way back after you finish that boss, and yeah, we didn't exactly follow that.
Not quite. So that's again one of the instances of what I like to think of as emergent movement mechanics in this game. If you're an ImSim head, you may be familiar with the idea of emergent gameplay mechanics, where these interactions are not necessarily what were planned to work, how they're planned to work, but there's not anything really like glitchy about what we did. It was just a really clever use of the mechanics as given to us.
Yep, it's like that's speedruns in a nutshell. The devs left it in, therefore it must be intended, right?
Exactly. So we're going to do a bit of a vertical climb here, which is going to make a lot of use of those same mechanics.
Yeah, specifically, lots of bomb bouncing, lots of super bouncing, lots of super bomb bouncing, all of the above. Specifically to get through this room here, where it's just a lot of very precise movement to get through these blaster shots cleanly. Because once you know their patterns, it's not that hard to get through this room, but it is a very tricky room until you do.
Exactly. It's as much of a knowledge check as much as it is a skill check, which is much the same for this room. This is the next boss, man in head in jar. Yeah.
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum,
as is colloquially called. Yeah, I use the actual names more than some people.
I'm fine with it for law bosses. I just don't respect him.
That's fair.
Preference. So he is tanky. He is very tanky, and he moves around a lot because the mines are meant to be like the third of the major areas you go to past the start of the game. In fact, there are a lot of areas we kind of skip past where you're meant to have a Hollow Knight Crystal dash kind of ability, but we never get that in the run because we just move past.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons why we need the double jump augment, is because it lets us get through a lot of areas that we would otherwise need the super dash for.
Yeah, like the last rooms in particular are kind of a good example of that because we end up doing that vertical climb, which is not intended. Careful.
Yep. I'm going to be playing a little safe because I took a little more damage than I would have liked. This is going to be a bit of a slow boss fight, but it happens.
It happens. You don't want to die here. This is like the last area you want to die because the climb back up is tremendously long.
Yeah, and also now he goes full Beyblade. Let it rip.
Let it rip. Which thankfully this second phase is a fair bit easier because his attacks become faster and frankly less numerous. And due to the pushback mechanics of your shots, like, yeah, he charges at you as a Beyblade, but what of it? You can push him back.
Yeah, but the fact that enemies get pushed back combined with the fact that he flies around the arena is why this fight is as annoying as it is. Because sometimes you could just push him back into the wall or the ceiling and you just can't hit him.
Yeah, he's like one of the only bosses that can just outright escape the arena.
Like that. He's just in the corner. There we go.
Don't mind him.
That was not my best fight, but as long as I beat him, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So beating Cerebellum is important because it opens a bunch of doors throughout the game that are required for progression. You may have noticed some of the doors in that room there. They sort of have like a bunch of bars on them. So he is hard required for progression.
Yeah, but it's really funny because since only the death of the boss is what matters, you can literally just kill him, force respawn the moment he dies, and you're good to go.
So right here, this is an interesting example of something the update changes is you'll notice Sam found a secret room there. That is as far as I can tell in this version of the game, it is the intended way to get into this section of the mines, which is hard required. So they made that area much more obvious, but you can see here too, there's a lot of like super long gaps that Sam just got over by bouncing off a flying enemy, doing a lot of really interesting climbs, sliding down walls into dashes into the nomadic compressor, just these chains of different movement abilities that are all so much fun to pull off and super impressive to do smoothly like Sam just did. Yeah. A lot of this you're meant to have the super dash for to do that, so it's so cool we can just get by without.
And specifically that part where I like dashed over and bounced on enemy, I got good RNG there because the enemy was exactly where I wanted him to be. If that enemy wasn't there, I would have had to wait like 10 seconds for him to get into position.
Yeah, this game doesn't have a lot of RNG in it, but one of the instances is where enemies can be. throughout the level as you spawn into a room. They can just be anywhere on their cycle path. So right there, we just did one of the 3 main objectives. It's essentially going to the computer, activating it, hitting 3 switches in a short time, and coming back. And then as Sam, what? Now you may ask, that room next to where that computer was looked an awful lot like an arena. What do you think, Sam?
We'll never know.
We'll never know. There may have been enemies that spawned there, but that's not our problem.
It's almost like they only spawn on the way out, and we didn't leave, so they didn't get a chance to spawn.
We just refused to engage. I see the problem the game is trying to enforce on me, and I instead choose force respawn.
All right, these enemies are kind of in the way, so just play it safe.
Yeah, I hate those fireflies so much.
Yep. Literally fireflies, because they fly and shoot fire.
So true. As we're doing a climb out here, this might be a good time, Cutie, if you have anything you want to share.
Absolutely. One thing I do want to talk about is if you are enjoying GDQ Hotfix, especially following AGDQ, you can support GDQ Hotfix by checking out the 2024 Season 4 shirt at the Yeti. That's yetee.com/AGDQ. The shirt has all of the logos and references to all of the Season 4 Hotfix shows, including Perilous Paths. So proud Papa moment. We're on there. We made it. And if you have missed any of our shows or events, you can always check out the VODs on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. That includes the mainline events. And there's also a little bit of special content from AGDQ that was not streamed live on the Twitch channel. There's some tournaments, there's some panels, there's a lot of fun stuff to check out there. So if you have a minute, go ahead and swing over there. Not during the stream, because we're busy right now, but maybe a little later on if you got some spare time. And with that, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right.
Wrong path. Good try.
Yeah, I was just showing off what happens if you mess up. That was definitely a cautionary tale that was intentional.
Very true. So Sam having to play it safe here because the game's being mean to him, but heading through the water tunnels here to the next major area, and we're stopping here at this little tram station, which is going to be kind of like our headquarters for the rest of the run. Also, on the way past there, you may have seen like a little robot man on a platform. That was me. You can go say hi to him if you want.
That's one of you.
On your own time, not now.
Because you're in here twice, technically.
Do you want to grab the teleport?
Why would I? I don't need to.
Okay, fair.
Because that fast travel station, we'll be using it, but we don't need it right now.
Okay, true.
Because contrary to your casual playthrough during after the update came out, I do not need to go through there yet.
Oh, I always just grab them to run anyways, because it's like right there. But yeah, I guess that's not the optimal thing. Fair.
Yeah. So basically, we kind of did. We're talking about other things, but there was a fast travel we grabbed earlier in the run. That is very important because we will have to come back to that section later, and we'll be teleporting out of that area right there, which is why this is kind of our hub station for the rest of the run.
Exactly. We're going to be heading back there a lot. We're basically not going to be taking any other save points just so we can teleport back there because it is very convenient. Speaking of convenient, we can just bomb that switch through a wall.
Yeah, we're basically doing this area in a very unintended order. So basically what is supposed to happen down here is we go to the right, we interact with a terminal. That terminal opens up a bunch of valves all around the area that also raises the water level in certain rooms. And then once those valves are open, we can go through certain pipes, make it to where the boss is, get the new swim ability, blah, blah, blah. We don't do any of that. Because by hitting that switch, we're able to basically go through this area backwards because this path here doesn't have any paths that are blocked off by those valves. And so we don't have to raise the water level at all.
Exactly. It is super, super convenient. In fact, for Mind Skip, we used to be able to just bomb the switch for that through the wall, but sadly that got a little fixed, but we now have a kind of cooler method to deal with it, so you know what, it's fine.
Yeah,
oh, you got them stacked up.
Yeah, I know, that actually almost never happens.
Oh my god, that was so nice. Yeah, so those dogs there are kind of tanky, and their attacks are really annoying to deal with because they sort of stick a big tongue out and try to lash you with it, and the tongue can actually take the bomb and then leave it floating midair where it then does nothing. So the fact they didn't use it and just scurried on top of each other, that was so nice.
Yeah, on top of the fact there's like a 50-50 chance whether they stop and attack you or scurry around each attack cycle. So you can't really easily deal with them because they're always doing something different.
Exactly.
All right, now we get to fight the next boss. This is the fish boss. We just call him the fish boss. Yeah, he's a fish. And even calling him a boss is a little generous.
Yeah, so we're just gonna sit right here and just tank him.
Yeah, so basically this boss is the easiest boss in the entire run because he does an attack and then he leaves and then you can heal. And then he does another attack and then he leaves and you can heal. And that's the entire fight.
Yep, he also just doesn't have nearly as much health as the guys in the mine because, again, you're kind of meant to come here a little sooner on the normal path of progression. But at the same time, just you can't even like chase him down or anything. So we just do that instead.
Yeah. Also, that was a very funny kill. It's like sometimes I'm able to kill him with a bomb shot while he's like off screen. He was like charging at me and then the bomb went off and he just continued charging.
The bomb is really good for that. There's a lot of funny instances where you can just attach it to something, that thing runs away, and you just see it explode off screen. Yep. There's a fun little bit of movement.
Yeah, but now that we defeated the fish boss, we can now swim. So basically, the way the swim works in this game is if you press the right trigger, you drill forward and a little dash underwater. And if you hold down the regular swim button, which is A, and mash the dash button, you can just chain together underwater dashes like that, which is much faster than you're supposed to be able to do it.
Yeah, there's normally about a second and a half delay between when you can normally do it, but you can just sort of cancel that delay by swimming, which makes it a lot easier and a lot faster. So we're going to also disrespect a bit of the mechanics in this room. Again, this is one of these rooms where we just have to hit, oh, and you can do it, a few switches within a certain amount of time. Normally, you're meant to sort of go in and out of these little tunnels at the bottom to work up a lot of speed because swimming lets you work up an incredible amount of speed. And once you have a lot of speed when entering water, you enter a sort of shine spark state. And that lets you then launch yourself all the way up there, but we can also just bounce our way up.
Once again, if something is vertical, we can go there whenever we want now. But yeah, because of that, we basically never see the Shine Spark ability in the run at all, which is a little unfortunate because it is fun to use, but it is still required for some side objectives, so it's not like it is a completely optional mechanic either.
Exactly. So we just respawned back to that last save station we were at, and there's also the little tram station is functional throughout this whole sort of horizontal slice of the map, and by getting to the room that we went to enter Basin, we activated that tram so we can just head right back there, and we're now entering towards the labs. For story reasons, we can't do the third base station we need to do until we go here and turn ourselves into a computer.
Well, spoiler, we don't turn ourselves into a computer. We find out we were one the whole time.
Then who was computer? It was us, we were computer.
Yes. Along with the other computer. There's a lot of computers in this game. There's like at least 3 or 4 that are story relevant.
Pretty much. So this little section is definitely perilous to travel through.
You mean this path?
Oh. I got halfway there and then I fumbled it. You're so right.
I was ready for a said the thing kind of comment on that, but we got close. We got real close.
Close enough. Listen, I tried. Yeah, so there's a lot of big jumping enemies in there that are hard to get through. And then this area, these stations shoot homing shots that are awful. So those doors right there are part of why we had to fight Cerebellum. Yeah, that is really scary to go through. And even here, these little guys kind of homing on you aggressively. So if you can't move fast, they're a little frightening. But Sam made it very smoothly.
All right, now we have a little platforming section that we're not going to do.
Yeah, so we're supposed to go into cyberspace here, and there's a lot of little platforms that appear as you get close to them. It's a bit of a roundabout. Now we just jump there.
Yep.
No need.
Yeah, there's going to be a few of those rooms where we're kind of like in the network, so to speak. But yeah, we're not going to do a single one of them as intended.
In the system. But now Sam's going to grab that teleport spot real fast here. And we're going to go back to Overgrowth, which is where the final base station is at. And it's also where the Super Dash is at, but we just don't need to get it because we're cool.
Yeah. In fact, we even briefly went through the Arboretum earlier when we were getting Nomadic Compressor. We were in there for like a total of 2 rooms, so I don't blame you if you didn't notice. But we were here briefly.
We call it a Chekhov's Arboretum.
Yeah,
I decided to call it that now.
It's named after our friend Chekhov, no relation to the guy with the gun.
No relation. There are no guns in this game, so I don't think that would make sense.
Yeah, we have a blaster instead. Way cooler.
Yeah, you can kind of see how this room is meant to like use a combination of the bounce and like a super dash. Again, just think Hollow Knight's Crystal Dash. But we're just cool like that. We don't need that. Oh, I always go around the bottom. I don't know why I never thought going through the middle
used to, and I realized, oh wait, that's faster, and it's also not that hard. I should just do that. It saves like 3 seconds.
That is so much more obvious. Yeah, you know what? Handshake on that one.
Yeah, just don't look at any of my previous runs because that is a very recent thing that I started doing.
Do look at the previous runs though, because the last time Sam ran this on Hotfix, which wasn't even that long ago, thankfully,
a few months.
He got world record. He's beaten that record since, but that was such a fun run. You should definitely go back and watch that.
Yeah, world record in this game is currently 43 minutes and 36 seconds, I want to say. I forget the exact seconds.
Sounds about right.
And it does use that in-game timer at the top there. Also, we skipped that entire sector with the super bounce. There's like 3 enemies that we're supposed to fight. We don't fight any of them. And then
normally you fight them and then a platform spawn you can travel on, but nah, just jump.
And then that next one, we could just force respawn and we don't have to do it.
Yeah, that's a whole platforming section that I genuinely don't even remember how it's supposed to go because you can just say, no, I refuse.
Yeah, I did it one time during my casual playthrough and then I've never done it again.
Same.
All right, but now that we've activated all 3 substations, it's final boss time.
Exactly, here we go. This little tram thankfully puts us pretty close by, and Sam is on very nice pace right now. Despite everything that happened in the mines there being super rude and super mean.
Yeah. Everything except for mine skip, which is ironic.
Yeah. Somehow the one choke point was not the choke point this time.
All right, and then we could do some fancy movement to go through this room a little faster using some super bounces.
Which combined with the DAT slide like that, that's a little harder than doing a normal super bounce. But yeah it's so schmoovy.
All right, and it's time to fight the final boss. This is Hive. Hive has 2 phases. Depending on how experienced you are with the game, one of the 2 phases is harder than the other. It is not the same phase.
Yeah, it's just because this phase is a lot easier to not take damage on. It's harder to do quickly because you can see a small target that moves around very fast.
Yeah, meanwhile, phase 2 is a lot easier to do quickly because it's a lot more deterministic and it's easier to tell what attack it's going to do. But it has a lot less opportunities to heal, so it's a lot harder to do safely when you don't know what you're doing.
It's also like 3 times the size, so a lot easier to hit.
Much bigger target. All right. But
in the meantime, Sam's doing pretty good here. Look out for the Beyblade.
Yeah, for some reason, a lot of bosses in this game are huge fans of Beyblade.
I actually had like a Kirby spin top as a kid. I need to see if I can find that. It's very similar.
Yeah, Beyblade was one of the things I saw in commercials, and that's it.
Same, and then I was forced to play one of the games on GameCube. That was awful. Anyways, the boss has grown legs.
Yeah. Just like all good final bosses, giant paralegs.
I love when in Dark Souls you finish the game and like, what's his name? Glowing Fireman just grew a big pair of legs. That was really cool.
Yeah, everybody's favorite Dark Souls bosses are their favorite because they have giant pair of legs, right?
Yeah, that's why we like Ceaseless Discharge, right? I think he has legs. I assume he does. You don't really see him.
But yeah, this boss, the one time that you can like safely heal is during this like pillar attack. Other than that, you just dodge and punish every other attack because depending on where the boss is teleporting, it will always use like the same attacks. And so you can very easily tell which attacks are coming out when as a result.
Exactly. So, like, if he does a jump forward, he's going to slide. If he drops from the top, he's going to shoot out a shockwave. If he does the big circle around him, he's going to follow it with pillar. And, like, that's it. On top of that mid-fight move, which is just a bunch of balls you dodge. And then if he does the laser, it's telegraphed so well, you can just...
And that's that.
If you react to it fast enough, you jump. And there we go. Time coming up here in just a sec.
Time.
Yep.
Oh, gee. That's only, you said it was 43 something, so that's only like a minute off, right?
Yeah, that was faster than the last time I was on Hotfix by about 30 seconds.
We'll call it the Perilous Paths effect.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up now. Your current world record is 43:33. That's correct.
Okay, 33. I never remember the exact seconds because I just remember the 43:30 part.
The important part.
Well, you can't argue with a performance like that. Do you guys want to take a minute, do some shout outs, tell people where they can find you on Twitch or anywhere else that you might live?
Go for it, Sam.
Sure. Well, I mean, I live at my house. It's no.
Maybe don't share that. Maybe don't share that.
No.
Walter White.
Quick detour. There's the speedrun winners with both of our names in it.
Yeah. Shout out to my buddy Roman.
And then we're both also in the backers list somewhere, but that's less important. But yeah, if you want to see more of me, you can find me over at twitch.tv/illegallysam. Once the big overall update does come out on console, I will be playing this game a decent amount with that. I'm also currently learning another Metroidvania and trying to do runs of it called Yars Rising. I'm in the process of learning that at the moment. So it's a weird one, but it's fun. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on in the immediate future. So if any of that sounds interesting, feel free to check me out.
Yeah, and I got a couple shout outs. So obviously, definitely check out Sam. He does a lot of really cool runs. I think they're all very interesting and he's fun to watch. I myself stream pretty often. I stream a lot of retro achievements mostly, but every now and then I do runs like this, Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, which is also a super fun run. And definitely shout out to Rebel Transmute community. We're small, basically 3 people, at most 4 people. But every member has contributed very significantly to the run, finding a lot of cool stuff, really just evolving the run beyond what anyone would have initially thought was capable. So shout out to Sam, shout out to Scorned Lily, who found a lot of stuff here as well. We're still waiting on you to do a run. Come on, chop chop. Yeah, it's super cool. Definitely come check us out. Definitely just play this game in general. It is not a easy game, but if you're willing to go for a fun challenge that respects you as a player, to use the abilities given to you to navigate, I think it's so much fun. It is my favorite Metroidvania. I've never really run like even a 2D game before this game. So this was super fun to learn. I've never run a Metroidvania or anything, and even I still was pulled into it. Definitely come check us out, speedrun.com. We have a link to the Discord there. Yeah, and I'm going to make another shout out on January 23rd at noon ET. MagFest is going to start their event, MagFast. That is a speedrun event that'll be going on for 72 hours straight of speedruns, randomizers, challenge runs. It's all done live over at MagFest. It's on twitch.tv/MagFast. We're getting donation money. 100% goes to Child's Play charity. My buddy Witherman will be doing a race with idgeek of Sonic Adventure for the Dreamcast with a punishment wheel. I'll be doing commentary for that as well, live at the event. Super stoked for that. Definitely check it out.
All right. Well, all of that sounds awesome. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been our absolute pleasure. I think both of these games showcase why we need to support, our indie developers, our indie communities, and of course, our speedrunning communities. That's why we're here. Hashtag not sponsored. It's not. But I do think indie games are super important. I want to thank our runners, both Cave and Illegally Sam, as well as our commentators, Jaxler, the Frogmonster themselves, the dev of Frogmonster, and of course Snapkick, who you just heard from. that is it today for Perilous Paths. We air every other Monday, 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. But Hotfix is not done. We are only about at the halfway point for today, so definitely make sure you stick around for Hidden Heroes coming up next, hosted by Anarchy. You're not going to want to miss it. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short break.